All right, shut up.
We're live.
Hey, ballers, welcome to These Balls Good Talk, the podcast that wonders if Haley Steinfeld will be at the AFC Championship to support her name. Or her
Hell
man.
yeah, she will.
They never show her on TV if she's at the games, though. Like
she's not Taylor Swift, so
she's a proper lady.
She's still pretty popular, though.
yeah, but she's not Taylor Swift.
Whoa.
Taylor's the big dog.
I haven't muted the YouTube stream in my ear, so I was hearing.
Oh no, you're hearing us like seconds later.
Mark, be a professional. Jesus Christ.
So I apologize for
muted.
YouTube viewers. I don't know what happened there with the theme song. It came on and it was all like, and then it was like, "Give these balls." I can't even sing it right now because my voice is shot. But it was like an octave up. It was really weird.
Buddy, the show must go on. We don't mention mistakes.
Well, no, but
roll with the punches.
It hurt my ears, so I apologize.
Yeah, but we don't tell them. That's on purpose.
This is Mark along with John and our producer Pete, and we're ready to discuss the latest in sports tech and pop culture. If you'd like to hear, or if you like what you hear or see, please like us and hit that subscribe button, or as we like to say, tickle that little bell.
Tickle.
Welcome back to the podcast. One of our favorite guests, Matt Medeiros. What's going on, Matty?
What is up, boys? How are we doing?
Cousin Maddie.
Hello.
You know how many people tell us like that you are the favorite guest? Like there's a lot of people. Like Pete's wife has said that a few times, and I've
a lot of our regulars.
You're definitely one of the top ones there.
And we can name all our regulars. Thanks, Doug, Jeff, Amy, Pete's wife,
Lisa.
Shout out!
Tim.
Shout out to the regs.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, John, how you been?
You know that guy who like the gif where the guy sits in the fire and he's saying, "This is fine." That's where I am now.
The one that you keep sharing with all of us.
So I've noticed, and I've noticed two things. I've noticed when something tragic happens in your life, a lot of people ask to help, which is wonderful. You have a good friend group, and you don't know what to say to any of them. But I've also noticed that you find out.
We also don't know what to say to you, John.
Yeah,
that's pretty normal, though. You also find out that a lot of people have had, especially once you hit your 40s, a lot of people have a sad parent story.
Yeah,
and it's just what it is, I guess.
I
am going there on Saturday, staying through Monday evening because Dad's coming home. So,
hey, that's something.
yeah.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing.
He is after almost 50 days in the hospital and a large amount of rehabilitation. He's talking much better.
That's good.
He has a lot more brightness in his eyes and his face, so that's good. And we're gonna go from there.
Nice.
So, I told somebody today that he's too stubborn to go, so he'll live like this a long time, I bet.
My grandfather was like that too.
Too stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had he dealt with I think it was prostate cancer, and I'm pretty sure the first he ended up losing to the prostate cancer after a second time, but the first time he got it, I think he pretty much stubborned it out of his body that first time.
Yeah, it's the Italian way.
It's the Italian way. Maddie, I'm talking about my other grandfather, not ours. But
put some Windex on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a little tussin on there. You'll be fine.
A little tussin.
Give me some of that tussin.
It's all good. Everything else is going great. I finally got ice cream again, so we got ice cream. Jamie and I are still watching The Rookie. The Rookie is really fucking good, honestly. I'm really, really enjoying it. And Jamie has... Yeah, Nathan Fillion, right? And Jamie has discovered that she likes episodic crime dramas.
Well, there you go.
Well, there's a lot of them.
Look at that.
There is a lot of them. I think the comfort of a nice tight bow on a story after 45 minutes is a really very comforting thing that I think we've forgotten about.
I mean, how many different Law and Orders are there?
I can't count that high. I can't count that high.
Yeah. There's so many of them.
SVU has been going on since I've been alive. I think they're in their 80th season at this point.
Is Ice Cube still on it?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the main actress is not
Ice-T.
at all.
Ice-T, not Ice Cube.
Ice-T.
Don't mess those up.
Yeah. And Mariska Hargitay, who has now gotten a little old, though she's still a smoke show.
I got to shout out Landman if you're not watching it.
Landman.
Landman. Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton.
I like Billy
we got
Bob.
Ali
That's
Lama.
on Paramount.
Yeah,
Is that on Paramount?
Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
it's one of
better
the
than
killer-
the Sylvester Stallone crime drama,
You know,
King
those
of
are both
Tulsa.
pretty good.
King of Tulsa?
Tulsa King, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Tulsa
really
King,
good.
yeah.
I mean, Stallone is playing an Italian Goomba. Like in Tulsa. I don't know what to tell you.
He's playing himself.
That doesn't sound. Yeah, he's wearing his clothing. Clearly, it's clearly Sly's actual wardrobe that he just brought in with him. That he's just wearing to look as.
I love the Sly
possible.
Stallone Hollywood stories where you're like, anybody who was taller than him had to like stand at an angle, and since everyone was taller than him, it was all really very weird when he was very famous.
Respect.
I have all right. I think we have to pause for a second. Is it what if Maddie kind of uses the mic a little bit further from his mouth, and then is it possible for us to turn up the volume after the fact?
Yeah, we can. Can you keep it at the same angle and just pull it away from you?
I don't think it does that.
Does not bend that way.
I don't. Not really. How is that any better?
That one monologue, Maddie, was terrible as far as your audio quality.
It's when you get to a certain volume, you know, your normal speaking voice, that it decides
But we want
that
that.
it's
We want that voice though.
Hang on
what
one
did
second.
you use?
I'm just gonna
what
see.
did you use before?
I didn't use anything, so I'm gonna.
He's
take
used
this
his
off.
computer mic before.
Yeah.
Use your computer mic.
Wait, is there like a
maybe-
fan or something on in there? Because that would make it.
And maybe a different headset.
Yeah, we don't normally get the background volume, so I don't know if
There must be a
else.
fan or something going on there. All right, sorry guys, we're gonna get Matt's setup here fixed because we definitely want to hear everything that he has to say.
while Matt's kind of dealing with that, I'll give you a little update on what I've been doing. Unfortunately, my pants have not been agreeing with my waistline lately, so I've had to make a little bit of an adjustment to my diet. Now there's a restaurant down the street that I love to go to. It's called The Social. Not a sponsor, but you could be.
Could be though.
So I've made a deal with all the bartenders there that I have to, or rather, I can only have a beer if I ran a mile. So for every mile that I run, I can have a beer, or I can have 2 whiskeys because it's about the same calorie and carb content.
Whatever's
Nice.
going on, Maddie, we have to stop that.
I know what it is. Now that he's off headset, we got to turn all that stuff that I turned off back on. I'm so sorry. And your Matt, in voice and video, turn back on noise suppression. You can try crisp. That seems to work pretty good. And echo cancellation.
It's all about live IT support during a podcast.
We got this.
This is more production support, so it's more Pete than it is me.
Yeah. Okay. So I just changed those two
that's much
settings.
better.
Oh, way
That
better.
is
Yeah.
1,000 times
Awesome.
better.
Okay.
I
We're
think,
good.
We're
Maddie,
good to roll now.
I think that you can blame all of this on Pete.
This is my fault. Hey, I've had an off week, man.
You know what? We're gonna stick like this. If it sounds better for you guys, then I'm good. With it.
This sounds amazing.
Actually.
All right.
We'll take it.
Pete, why don't you fill us in on what's going on?
So about not having a great week. So I apparently credit to Steph for finding this because I would have been in the dark with this. She actually is the one that finally found this autoimmune disease because I'm like every 4 years or so when there's a cold winter and it's dry.
This is when your face exploded?
Yeah. For some reason, if I get like really, really cold and then really, really hot too fast, my entire body will erupt in like hives, and like my hands and feet and sometimes face will completely swell up, and it's awful. Lasts anywhere from like 2 days to like a week. So Steph found.
This is appropriate for the podcast.
Yes. So Steph found
You have a safety word?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I know. It's an autoimmune disease called cold urticaria.
Pineapple.
Yeah. So apparently it's some rare ass disease where I'm basically allergic to massive temperature fluctuations. Great. So remind me never to do like one of those cold hot cleanses or whatever.
Or like
Would not be good.
ski.
Yeah, but
Pete.
you know, I'm not gonna. It only happened to me once after skiing, And it was negative. It was
Pete,
negative
buddy,
25.
Old.
Yeah, but it hasn't increased in frequency at all. It happened to me 2017. We were skiing at Stowe. It was like negative 25 at the summit, negative 60 wind chill. That's when it happened last time.
Oof.
Yeah.
So for Buffalo, that's spring.
Spring.
Yeah, like March weather.
It's football season.
Maddie, why don't you bum us out and tell us
weather.
what was the high in San Diego today?
Oh, today I think we hit 75. Let me double check my watch. Oh no, it was 78 today.
Wow.
Maddie, when was the last time it rained?
I think I was 12. It was a beautiful time.
You remember it well.
Yes, I remember my great-grandpappy was here. He had a wonderful time. No, no one knows. That's actually an unanswerable question. I can tell you that we have rain.
I think San Diego is actually considered a desert. Actually, isn't that?
It is.
Probably.
It is.
We have a family member who lives in San Diego.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon. Hey, Tara. Yeah. I asked him when we went out for his wedding, Pete and I and our wives, how much did it rain this year? He's like, I don't know, like 0.5 inches. I'm like, no, not today, like the whole year. He's like, yeah. Just like, but then you got
the last
tacos.
8 months we're at a third of an inch, just to give you an idea of how bad it is. That's the last 8 months, a third of an inch total.
And always 75, which is the perfect temperature, if anyone was wondering.
Except when I visit.
If you drive 1 hour to Los Angeles or Anaheim, it's 98.
Not when I visited.
America's finest city. I don't know what to tell you.
That's America's finest city.
There's a reason I went here. It's not a coinkydink that I ended up here.
You got the Navy. If anything goes down, there's a ton of warships.
Incredible
Top Gun
tacos.
Maverick was filmed here. You're welcome.
There you go.
There.
I still love this though, Maddie. While he's lived in San Diego, how long have you been in there now?
Since 2008. So what does that put me at? That's a long time now.
Wow.
17 years. He still calls Massachusetts home.
Damn right.
I don't know. Do you actually realize you do that?
Oh yeah. Well, because it is.
Yeah.
I am merely a long-term visitor.
There you go.
Look, if you stayed at a nice hotel for years, doesn't mean that you're home. You're enjoying it. You think it's great, but you know where you're from.
You can take Matt out of Boston, but you can't take the Boston out of Matt.
No, I'm 43, going on 44, so I got still more time on the East Coast.
It's still home until it's over half, which now I guess I'm from Albany, which is weird.
Oh, that is
weird. You know what it
weird.
is too? I think it's also like formative, right? Like the coast you grow up on.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have grown up in San Diego, but if you moved to Maine, I don't think you're going to consider yourself anything other than a California, right? It's the same with us. When you're born on the East Coast and you get that mentality, it's baked in. You can't help it.
That's
baked in.
Your brother, who, by the way, lives in Maine, for those that don't know, still calls Massachusetts home as well, even though he's lived in Maine for how many years?
Only thing my brother and I agree on. That's about it. That's pretty much what we agree on. That and the Patriots.
Well, with our hold up and us shooting the shit for the last 20 minutes, I think we should move on.
All right. Hey, guys, why did the Soup attend comedy night?
Why, Mark?
He heard it was a good place to warm up an audience. It's time for Warm Up Your Balls. All the dad jokes. All the dad jokes.
God, I love your transitions, man. It's my favorite part of the new season.
As a reminder, Pete will spin the wheel. That will randomly select a question from our spinning wheel, and our guest, Maddie, will answer. Are you ready, Pete?
All right, let's do it.
So, Matt, we're not going to be able to see the wheel, but
you can watch it live.
You could watch it live after the fact, but I'll just
afterwards.
I'll just write you I'll read you the question. Here we go. Spinning.
Love you.
And
this has become my new favorite tradition of Jamie just randomly showing up during the show.
do you have a
She
favorite?
puts herself to bed now, so
Yeah. Do you have a favorite book or movie that you recommend to everyone?
Oh, well, yeah, I love fantasy books. I'm a big fantasy guy. I'm a big Bryan Sanderson, who's the author of many.
Brandon.
The Stormlight Archive, any of the series is amazing.
Actually, John and I are in the middle of Mistborn right now.
You started. I made you start it too, or are you later on it?
I'm in book 2.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Because I'm driving to Westchester a lot, and I said this on the show last week, I'm listening to books. And so I got done with the book I was listening to when I went down last week, and I had a book. I needed a book when I drove up, and I've been meaning to read Mistborn. So I was like, hey, Pete, what's the name of the first book of Mistborn? And so I got it on Audible.
Yeah.
So I'm like 4 chapters, and it's awesome.
Great series.
Are you caught up on Stormlight Archive, or that's a big?
So
that's
the
a big
newest one
series.
came out the newest one just came out, so I haven't read that one yet.
Okay.
But the other, I think it's 4 now. I'm in now. I've read, and they're all amazing.
And he's still, obviously he's still writing it. So
yeah.
But the way
he's
that
good though. He's not like the Game of Thrones guy.
Oh,
you have
no.
to wait 10 years. Every year he knocks one out for you.
I'm pissed at that because I read the first book and a half of Song of Ice and Fire, and then I found out I'm like, why should I bother continuing? Like, he's never going to finish it.
Look, I'll put it out there. I'll be controversial. I blame the last season of Game of Thrones on HBO. I blame them having a bad season. For one, it was too short episodes. They need 10 episodes for a Game of Thrones season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because they ran out of content. They were working off a script. You know, they had a story.
Right.
And then they tried to make it up, and you're like, wait, who? What?
Weiss and Benioff. Weiss and Benioff fucked that last season, Maddie. So,
but it is because they ran out. They should have asked.
But HBO said we'd give you as much money and as many episodes as you want, and they're like, "Fuck it, we're out."
Yeah, the freaking showrunners ruined it.
Book, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, if you need a couple
Weiss
years,
and Benioff are problems.
Write a damn book. Come on.
He
can't write a book. He's rich.
Henry Cavill, actually, I just saw an interview. Henry Cavill had to list his 4 favorite fantasy authors because Henry Cavill's a giant nerd, and Sanderson was one of them. Sanderson is probably the best world builder, I think, in modern fantasy authors.
Well, I mean, he's
great
controversial statement.
He's the next big
I think right.
it guy now, right?
That is a true fact.
He's the new generation of like the big fantasy stuff.
For sure, absolutely. But Stormlight Archive, can't recommend it enough. Mistborn's great, but anything he writes is pretty great. But if you like, I would say classic, not fully epic, but like semi-epic fantasy, the Stormlight Archive is outstanding.
I try to get into that one. I'm gonna have to try again. I think maybe when I finish Mistborn, I'll give it another shot.
I like it. Great book.
So Pete was the one who turned me on to Wheel of Time, so Brandon Sanderson finished Wheel of Time for Robert Jordan because he passed. But there's very reluctant hero, chosen one, a lot of very clear fantasy tropes that I think Brandon Sanderson writes very well, and they're in Wheel of Time and in Mistborn, which is probably the reason he got Wheel of Time, honestly.
Well, no, you nailed it too, John. I think when you're looking at authors who can create a world and create a magic system, and he even talks about this, read his interviews, about what the gap in that system is, right? There's always a cost to magic if you're a nerd. And so he does a great job of creating something new and original. And I think that's always great. So you get the stuff that you love in fantasy, but then you get something fresh and new, which is great. So pretty good stuff.
Yeah. And I think that also helped him finish Wheel of Time too, because it was like the one power in that, that's the magic in Wheel of Time. It became such this massive convoluted system, and especially the last couple books. And you could tell, so one of the things that I liked about Brandon Sanderson taking over there was he started getting a little creative with it. He's like, how far can I push the rules of this? And you could see it in the writing. Like, people started doing some crazy shit with it that it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like, it doesn't seem like it'd be outside of so I like that kind of smart thinking, right? Because I mean, when you're in war, whatever advantage you can get, and that's of course the last book of that was just a giant war. So it was neat to see stuff you wouldn't think about, or ideas, and I don't know. I think some of that too can translate to reality too.
Pete, I just met Hobbs. Hobbs is like, well, I'm a thug. I love the big dumb idiots in Magic systems.
Oh yeah,
so I think he'll be a favorite.
And the show's good. For those of you like Wheel of Time, I'd recommend the show. They've done a pretty good job so far.
Pete disagrees.
So I would disagree with you there.
I don't disagree. I think it's fine.
I love the cast.
It's fine. It is fine as a show on its own if you don't relate it to the books, but Pete can't separate it, and so everything pisses him off.
I don't know. There are a few things. Well, and maybe it's just because I can't separate it from the books, but no, they got an incredible cast, and they did a ton of really cool stuff with sets, and it looks good. It just, I don't know, I can't get over the writing.
They made that show because we're in 2024 and we're incredibly pro-equality right now. They made a very incredibly pro-equality show. And
but
unfortunately,
that's not the problem with it.
Listen, Wheel of Time is great, but it was written in the 70s and it is
written in the 90s.
I got this. I have something for you, Pete. I may be able to help you. Are you a fan of Star Wars? Okay,
Shut up.
because there is no worse
Yeah.
dialogue writing than Star Wars.
Okay,
And you
yeah.
can still enjoy the
Okay,
bloody
it's better
movies.
than that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I
One of
know.
the most
That is
classic
a
franchises of
true
all time.
fact.
There is no good dialogue in like
Okay.
7 of the movies, and it's still great. It's still enjoyable. So,
Yeah.
and take it for what you get, buddy.
All right, we got to move on.
All
We're
right.
at half.
Next question for spinning the wheel.
I gotta get you guys off talking about fantasy novels, or we're gonna be here for.
Oh
20
yeah,
minutes.
we can do this all night. All right, next question. Whoa, why is it so big? That's what she said.
That's what she said.
See,
Heyo.
here's
What?
the thing.
What is your favorite board game?
Why is it so big?
Oh, favorite board game. I'm kind of a classics guy, and I'm gonna go with
buddy.
Risk.
Risk.
I'm gonna go with Risk.
Really?
Oh, there's some epic
Yeah.
matchups in Risk in high school.
Big
and stuff.
fan of Risk.
Doesn't the average
Big
Risk
fan.
game take 47 years to finish, though?
No, it's not Monopoly. Come on.
Huh.
It's shorter than that. You just got to dominate. You look around, you make eye contact with somebody, like, we're going to trash everybody together, right? Yeah, and then you just smile and nod. You go to work. That's how it works. That's
Wow.
Risk. Yeah, classic.
Yeah, we'd always have a
That's
game set up on our table in the basement, as kids, and then you get certain ways into it in the summer, and then be like, oh, we'll continue tomorrow. So yeah, some games ran long, but you're right. It's not like wouldn't take the entire summer for one game.
No, it's not Settlers of Catan or Catan or however you pronounce it.
So,
That game
Maddie, we
takes a long
started
time.
playing.
I feel like that takes shorter than Risk.
No, ridiculous.
So we started playing a genre of games. We had a game night for a while, which has sort of fizzled out, but we played a genre of games that we like to call Italian lying games. And essentially, the Italian lying games,
Sounds like my
one,
Tuesday.
right? The specific one is called Secret Hitler. Not related to current events, even though it could be. And there are however many people plays. Some of the people are in the fascist party, and one of them is Hitler. And the object is the people who are fascists don't announce themselves to anyone but the other fascists.
Right?
And
They
through
try
a
to
series-
pose as liberals amongst the other
Through a
liberals.
series of voting, you try to learn who is the fascist and try to actually assassinate Hitler.
Right, like while
game hits a
you're
little too
passing all
close
these
to home, I
policies
think.
I was
that
going to say, that's a little on the nose. Maybe spies versus allies or something like that,
yeah, right.
It's very good. The idea of an
It's
Italian
intense.
lying game, though, is actually very, very cool. It actually plays a lot like modern Survivor. You're essentially a bad guy and you're lying to people's faces and trying to get them to trust you,
Right.
and you're trying to throw other people under the bus.
Right.
Sure.
That's very Italian of us. I respect that. That's Italian.
Yes.
Honestly, I think all Italian lying games, and Mark knows this because our family did it, is just drinking and playing cards at any and all family events at all times. Just talking
Did you guys
trash.
Did you guys
That's
play penny poker?
Poker wasn't a thing. That was one of the few games.
really?
Our
We
family played
so much poker.
pitch. Really? No, we were like pitch a lot. Certainly we do spades and hots and stuff like that too, but a lot of pitch.
Is our like spades and hearts, is that a New England thing? Because I did not play one team. What is it? I forget the name.
Well,
of
yeah,
those
yeah.
games.
Well, hearts is single.
Bidding
but
games.
Spades is
Bidding games.
yeah.
Are bidding games stereotypically like a New England thing? Because I did not even know about them until I got to college.
I mean, every game's a bidding game pretty much at some point.
Yeah, you can turn
You know?
anything into a bidding game, right?
Yeah. Even when you're playing with grandma and it's Rummy 500, you're still counting. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So.
Now that's
Yeah.
the one I did play. I played my mother to this day probably will not let me win Rummy 500. And I feel like I'm very good at it because I played waiting for Saratoga to open the racetrack, mornings for hours. I would play Rummy 500 with my mother. She'd be like, "You did good that time." She beats me by 300, right?
Jeez.
I don't understand when you go to meet other families because you make friends and they become family to you. And then I remember the first time I sat down and we were drinking and talking, and I was like, "Oh, okay." We're drinking and talking. I was like, "When are the cards coming out?" And they never came out. I was like, "What are you people doing? We can drink and talk, but let's play some games. Let's make it competitive.
There you go.
I got to beat somebody for this to be enjoyable. Let's go."
Right, right.
It's ridiculous.
Wow. What do you do while you're waiting for dinner to come out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after dinner immediately.
Between courses.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
All right,
Did you
guys.
guys do 6-hour Thanksgiving and Christmas adventures where you'd eat all day, 7 different courses?
I mean,
and
we did
just,
the Seven Fishes. That was definitely our Nana and Grandpa's thing.
Did you guys
Seven
do
Fishes.
A adjusted 7 fishes, or did you do the real 7 fishes? Because a lot of the 7 fishes are disgusting.
That's a good
I don't think I know.
That's
Seven
I can
fishes.
promise.
long ago.
Salted
I can promise you this.
Salted
I-
scrod is
That sounds like something in the can.
I think the
Sounds
kids
challenging.
had an adjusted 7 fishes, but the adults may still have had the real 7 fishes.
I can promise you we were the most Italian family because you got to love it. When we walked in, the first thing you saw on our grandparents' table were breadsticks wrapped in different cured meats.
Yep, absolutely.
Salamis, mortadella, capicola, whatever. It was all there.
And the
John
furniture
approves.
was all wrapped in plastic.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that was a thing, and Everybody Loves Raymond. Like I'm
I
pretty sure
remember that.
Doris Roberts' character was based on our name.
so.
That's
For the
funny.
non-Italians in the room and on the podcast, the 7 fishes is a Christmas Eve Italian celebration. Tradition. So the traditional fishes are bacala. Bacala is salted cod.
Oh, God.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Calamar, squid, obviously. Fruta de mar, which is shellfish, any kind of shellfish, really. Scungili, which is conch meat, which is especially disgusting, to be honest. Vongole, which is just clams. Clams are good.
Yeah.
And eel.
Eel can
Yeah,
be
we
good
did
if you prepare
Oh, I
it.
thought
Right?
tripe was on that list somewhere.
Fried smelts, which might be tripe.
Oh, I love smelts.
Hmm.
No. I love to this day. I still love smelts. So my mom would, for the longest time, cook me my like a birthday dinner, and more often than not, it was smelts.
Really?
Love smelts.
I think I gotta
That's
try
some New
this.
England shit.
Yeah,
When I'm done and doing that,
That's
that's
definitely New England shit.
I think I gotta try this 7 fish thing.
I
So,
love you,
Pete,
Scott.
buy
Give some
us.
smelt.
I'll give it a
By
shot.
us, Pellegrinos on Central,
Yep.
they put the fishes out. They put the fishes out all of December.
Wow.
So it smells like salt. It smells like bacala. in
Okay,
that
so
place when you go
this December we gotta do this, or at least get through
There
the
you
ones
go.
that
Yes.
get through the ones that you can tolerate.
There you
I mean,
go.
I have eaten them all.
Mm.
Not all of them are good.
Okay.
No.
No.
I will say this. I love it when someone comes to an Italian dinner for the first time, because they always have that bravado. It's like, oh yeah, I could definitely eat as much as everyone else can eat. I can eat all these courses, and
No, you can't.
when they get so defeated somewhere around the pasta course.
Huh.
Hey, Pete, you want to talk? Pete, do you want to
Yeah,
talk about
Pete.
that?
Yeah. So
I may or may not be talking about you.
I did manage to eat every course, but until I passed out from being full at the end of it.
It's always fun to watch the noob at an Italian dinner.
I feel like I housed it though the first
No,
time.
you did really good. You did really good.
I did well the
But
first
you're
time.
always too skinny.
Well,
You gotta remember that.
Oh yeah.
I was also
Well,
like
skin and bones.
20 years old. Like at the time, I could roll out of bed, not training, and run a 20-minute 5K. I'm not quite that good anymore.
I'm a 200-pound man, and my grandmother, rest her soul, when she looked at me, she would actually say, "You're too skinny," with a straight face. She actually meant it. She actually thought I was too skinny.
What does she want? Just everybody to be offensive linemen or what?
I don't think there's an answer. I think no matter how much weight I gain, she was not happy.
It's never
If
enough.
there was food left over, you need to eat it.
That's
That's
oh
right.
my god, that's funny.
Right.
All right, one more question.
How are we doing on time, John?
We're over, but it's fine.
We'll be quick on this one.
Maddie's here.
Okay. What's one thing on your bucket list that you hope to accomplish soon?
Ooh, during the pandemic, I was supposed to celebrate my 40th with all my friends and use my 40th because a lot of my friends were all turning 40 at the same time. We're all going to go to South Africa and Botswana because I've never been to the African continent, and I think going to the homeland is always good. So I would like to accomplish that in the near future since COVID put the kibosh on something that has been a trip I've thought about since I was probably 28. And now, as I said, I'm over 40.
Can we talk about it being the homeland?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. We're all come from Africa at some point.
We're all from Africa.
Yeah. Huh?
Except me.
Yeah. Everybody. That's what they think the origins of life began was Africa. So
Oh, jeez, my back.
yeah. I mean,
John,
not
are you
recently,
experiencing
but-
old man disease over there?
No, I had an itch. I had to get it. That's
Yeah, so
another
I
super
think,
Italian thing. You ever
birthplace of
have your
life, right?
you have your Italian relatives be like, scratch my back. I'm like, okay. They're like, lower. I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah. Definitely had a few aunts to ask for that.
No.
You can pay people to do that too for you,
Mm.
but that usually
That's
costs
true.
extra.
So,
John, what about you? You got what's on your bucket list?
I told you I'm gonna run a 5K this year.
That's great.
Wait. That's not really a bucket list item. That's just a goal that you have for this year.
I mean, he's never done one before, so it could be a bucket list.
Done one before. I don't know. We had this question almost exactly last week, and I don't have a lot of things.
Did I not get the updated wheel?
You did.
No.
I don't have a lot of like
it wasn't this
crazy things that
specific.
I have wishes to do because the crazy. I'm not saying the crazy in my life is over, but like I just want to like play video games with Jamie and like go to movies and like go to dinners. Like that's all I really want to do because
slow down. You're living life in the fast lane, and I'm worried about you.
Well, no,
Okay.
I don't want to like. I don't want to like go on safari. I don't necessarily need to go to Europe. I would go to Italy again, I guess.
Yeah,
I've been there. I mean,
Okay.
I don't need to run the New York City Marathon. Like, I don't need to do any of that shit. I just don't.
Yeah, I can promise you that if you were like, "Hey, let's run a marathon," I would just laugh and drink.
No, I mean, Maddie, I lost probably in the last 6 months, probably 30 plus pounds, and
really.
Yeah, and I feel
man.
I've been
you've been kicking
really
ass in that.
focusing on like eating better and supplementing and working on my mental health. And I mean, I guess that was a bucket list item, but that's kind of it's so weird once you decide to do all like the lifestyle changes for like the later half of your life, right? And they are lifestyle changes. You just have to think differently, and I think I'm there, kind of, sort of.
That's awesome.
I just had a hamburger. I like hamburgers, but like just not all the time anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's a great mindset.
Yeah, my wife the other day was like, "Hey, do you want to go out?" I'm like, "We go out still?" And Jamie went over to Pete and Stephanie's house and kind of hung out with them. And
you had a date night.
And Liam.
Wait, did she keep you on the leash, or was the leash off too?
No, totally off.
Oh, leash is on. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Safety first. We don't want you biting people. Yeah,
exactly. And that's where I would. There's a good bar chain, Druthers. You can be a sponsor if you'd like, because I love you. And got a delicious hamburger, so that was fun.
All right, can I ask this question, because as someone's been living healthy, there's always one thing. Like, what's the thing you crave the most? Like, what's the one naughty thing you want to eat the most?
I love. You know the thing that made me fat. Seriously,
ice cream for me.
The thing that made me fat is chips. I love chips. I love
great choice.
I love chips.
Great choice.
A lot of different kinds of chips. I like Doritos. I like sour cream and onion chips. I like spicy chips and not spicy chips. But you can't eat chips because chips are the fucking devil.
Yep.
Like,
so
they're the worst.
They're a delicious devil.
A delicious devil.
John, do you remember maybe you guys too? But I mean, when Price Chopper, I don't know when it was Mark still living here, but Price Chopper used to have this health index on certain foods on the shelf. Be 1 to 100, right? 100 was like raw broccoli, like that's 100. Okay, so there's your benchmark. 1 is like corn syrup, right? So all the Doritos were like 5, 6, but for some reason, Cool Ranch Doritos was like 28, and we're like, fuck it, that's a win. I'll take it.
Wait, can we have this? Because the listeners want to know. When it comes down to nacho cheese versus Cool Ranch, there's only one right answer.
Spicy nacho.
I've always
so spicy. Okay, you're gonna throw in a wild card. I dig it.
I've always done Cool Ranch.
I don't even remember my favorite bag.
I knew where you were going with that.
Shame on you.
I'll always be a Cool Ranch guy.
So you're more the nacho cheese, obviously.
My favorite.
A Dorito
that's the original.
Nacho cheese. A Dorito is not.
Is the sweet and spicy, the purple bag? We always buy the purple bag.
That one is really good.
The purple bag is the shit.
I like that John loves chips so much. He's like, I will not pick a normal chip. I will tell you the bag color. I have a bag. He's like creating his own. He's like, we take the purple bag and the green bag.
Dude,
we make it a very
literally, when Mel goes out to like the groceries, I mean, we both grocery shop, but like when she goes to a grocery store, she's like, oh, let me get you some chips. I'm like, you do not buy chips.
Yeah.
You don't allow your wife to buy your chips? That's funny.
No, it's because if they're in the house, I'm going to eat them.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. All right. I thought you were going as like she's gonna buy the wrong chip.
No, I'm gonna eat them. So there's no more.
Pete, you said ice cream, right?
Yep.
You said ice cream, Pete, for you.
For sure.
And Mock, you were wings.
Definitely Vice.
Oh yeah, wings. In fact, I've come to the realization I think I have to give up wings for Lent. That's gonna be a tough.
Wow.
Wow.
Real sacrifice. You got 40 days in you on that? Really?
I love wings.
Damn.
Yeah, we'll see how long I last.
I mean, there are worse things than wings.
Well, if you come to
Are
Wingfest,
there?
you can get all the wings
Are
out of
there?
your system or
Yeah.
into your system, I should
Oil
say.
and grease. You have to pay.
I mean,
You have
don't
to
get
make good
don't get
wings.
like Hooters style
really
smothered wings
fatty.
with like the
No.
with, like,
I don't get the Hooter style.
10
but-
pounds of breadcrumbs on them.
No. I don't listen. I mean, I make wings at home too, but I usually grill them, so that makes me feel a little bit better that they're not as like greasy.
You could do an all protein diet and make that work.
Oh, I love wings though. If I could eat wings every day, I would.
See, the thing with wings though is when I'm having wings, I gotta have a beer. There's no
Yes.
better food for beer than
Yes.
spicy wings.
Yeah.
Lights
I
out.
used to have a Sunday routine where I'd order 10 garlic parm wings, and then I'd order a pizza and have like 2 or 3 beers.
Yeah, that seems sustainable.
I thi- also, I think the pizza's the problem.
Yeah.
Is the pizza the problem?
Yeah. Yeah,
Keep
the
in
pizza's
mind,
the
What kind
problem.
of beers do I like? I like
And
the
the
big,
beer.
heavy IPAs.
The beer is
The
also the
whole
problem.
thing is a problem. The whole thing.
No, the pizza on top.
I'm a
the,
43-year-old man. Or almost
pizza on
43-year-old
top-
Man. I should
pizza
not
on
be
top is
eating
the
like
problem.
I'm still in my 20s.
Yeah. Don't eat like an
What I
asshole,
do.
Mark.
Yeah,
Don't eat
I
like
got
an
bad
asshole.
news. We're no longer in
Also-
our
This is
20s.
why I run.
Hey,
Yeah.
This
hey,
is why I
Mark.
run.
Hey, Mark. Do you want to know what's going to go on right now?
What's
It's going to be really exciting.
What's gonna?
You're not supposed to do that until I say
No! It's time.
Mighty
It's
Morphin
transitioning.
Power Rankings.
Ooh, that had more bravado.
And again!
Oh my God. Okay.
We are children.
Also, let's move on because we are over.
Yes. All right. Power rankings. Oh, luckily there are not as many teams to talk about anymore, so this shouldn't be as bad.
Yeah, there's only 4 teams.
I know. And as to that, then there were 4 incredible games this week, with a stunning upset by Washington, which turned the Lions into kittens, and the Bills overcame some intense media bias. Maybe I'm biased for thinking there was media bias, and hype for the Ravens, like the City of Losers comment by one of their local radio hosts in Baltimore. 80% of NFL.com's picks favoring the Ravens, and a ton of media pundits all favoring the Ravens. Everybody's like, nope, the Ravens. Yes, Lamar is awesome, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing about it. Guess what?
Well, in the ultimate disrespect, Pete, it was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah,
Both
no, I know.
games were
and
snow
They were
games.
they were favored.
They were favored at Buffalo. That's messed up.
Yep.
That is messed up.
I know.
Disrespect.
Yeah. No. Well, hey,
Although
it was a close game, and I knew it would be.
At the start of the week, I think it was a push. But then
I mean,
It was Bills by 1.5, and then it ended up being Ravens 1.5.
Listen, I'm just going to play devil's advocate. On paper, the Ravens are a better team than the Bills.
I mean, they definitely have more talent.
Now let's precursor that. The Ravens don't have Josh Allen, which turns out that's what made you win. But the Ravens are a better team. They should have been favored.
But not at Buffalo. Because if you think about it, in a normal line, right?
snow.
Home is
In
3
the snow.
points,
Yeah.
right? So you make it 1.5 or something like that.
And
Right.
keep in mind,
Which-
the Ravens almost won too, right?
The
They-
Ravens
almost tied.
should have tied the game.
They almost tied.
Period. Hard stop. They should have tied.
Yeah,
and then we don't
Mark
know.
Andrews
Who
just
Mark
straight
Andrews
up
running
dropped
somewhere.
that pass.
Straight up dropped it. Was in his
Right.
hands.
Yep.
Now,
All right.
this
feel
is
bad
one of
for
those
him.
things where you talk about, well, there were a lot of opportunities for the Ravens to win that game, and there was a lot of opportunities for the Bills to lose that game, and the Bills ended up winning is because they played better. So, I mean, that's sports stuff.
Well, the Bills-
this is what we want.
The Bills seized all their opportunities, and the Ravens didn't.
Yeah.
We don't want the Commanders to blow out the Lions by 25. It's fun to talk about, but that wasn't a good game. They got their asses
The
kicked.
Lions were their own worst enemy. The Lions and the Ravens.
I couldn't believe that.
The big theme of those two teams shooting themselves in the foot, turnover.
Yeah.
How do you turn the ball over 5 times and expect to win?
Oh, it's
But
terrible.
in fairness, they were down their entire defense. The Lions were playing all backups.
You're absolutely right
Yeah.
about that.
So, and I'm not trying to take away anything from the Washington team. I think good for them, right? Like Jaden is killing it. But you were also playing second stringers. They were down, 10, 11 starters on defense?
They won 15 games with the second stringers is actually kind of amazing.
Well, they lost people all season. So, like, they lost Hutch, and then they lost some other people. They lost Amik Robinson in the game, didn't they?
Yeah, they
lost their second cornerback in the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. All right, so...
That injury was rough, by the way.
Yeah. To continue on with this here, we got Chiefs and Eagles taking care of business. I have them as the top two teams. Philly honestly looks like a better version of the Ravens. Like, to me, they seem very similar. They're based around a two-headed monster of a multi-threat quarterback and the best fucking running back performances we've seen in decades.
Saquon is a man on a mission.
Oh my God.
I mean, he went there to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's only one better than Derrick Henry out there, and it's Saquon.
He's not worried about records. He wasn't worried about breaking the record.
Team on his quads.
Yeah, on his quads.
They're very big quads. Yeah. And I would have put Buffalo as number 2, but I can't because there's some... Well, if you read my blurb here...
superstition, I swear with you.
Wait, hang on a second. You put the Eagles 1? Like, actually 1?
Yeah. I think they're the strongest team right now.
Okay.
And I would have Bills 2, but yeah, sorry, the refs are going to make the Chiefs win, so they add to the Chiefs' power.
Mahomes factor, right?
Yep. No, it's the ref bias towards the NFL's favorite franchise. That's what it is.
I think the AFC teams are better than the NFC teams right now. It's not even close to me. I think the Super Bowl is the AFC Championship game.
Well,
it might be a little bit of grass is greener on the other side.
What if Jalen Hurts was 100% healthy though? Would you still agree with that?
Well, that's true.
But he's not.
Oh, that's true. You know, I didn't really factor that in.
So the Patriots, we'd have a real team. I don't know what to tell you.
Guys, I know I said this last week that the Commanders have a shot. They have a shot again.
Of course, they're dangerous.
Look. At this point,
what you said last week.
Any of these 4 teams could win the whole thing.
No, Pete and Derek said it was going to be a blowout. You said there was a punter's chance, and I said, well, I think the Lions are going to win, but it's going to be close. Well, the Ravens won.
You got to remember, the Commanders have no pressure.
Yeah, the
There's no pressure.
No pressure.
They're just playing to show you up.
By the way, you know what the strongest power in all of sports playoffs are? Momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Big Mo.
Momentum. And no one is hotter than the Washington Commanders right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. The refs are pretty hot for the Chiefs right now.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. We're teasing that. We'll get to that later in the show.
We are going to talk about that. However, at the end of it, for the Chiefs game, and I hate that I'm defending the Chiefs, but at the end of it, they had them stopped. They were stopped. It was 4th down. They had them stopped, and Patrick Mahomes made a flying leap throw, and somehow Travis Kelce was open in the end zone, and they won the game. I mean, like,
Patrick Mahomes out of that game.
You can't deny that Patrick Mahomes won that game, because he did. And the refs didn't win that game. The refs made it close, but Patrick Mahomes won the game in an amazing fashion from a complete circus throw.
On that play, yeah. That was vintage Mahomes right there.
To that
you could argue that they never should have been
to get a penalty for being breathed on heavily.
Yeah.
So.
Also, one of their linemen false starts every single play.
Never should have been in that position.
I just think that when you look at the teams,
it's just easy to say. That's all.
Right. But when you look at the teams, right? Commanders have nothing to lose. Nothing. They're just playing for fun, and they're dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Philly's a little injured, but they have this kind of unique offense paired with a fantastic defense, right? You have the Bills, who have this pretty fun team that just seems to always find a way to win with these kind of amazing players on both sides of the ball.
Right. Like who are these? Like who are these people? But they somehow pull it off.
Yeah. And then you have the Chiefs, who just have, like, we've been here before. They're never afraid. Mahomes is never rattled.
No.
So he sat there. He's like, I'm getting sacked. I'll throw it to Kelce. Like, that's what he was doing. He's just like, here you go. Yeah. He was being sacked. He's like, oh, okay, here you go.
It was done. They take him down without that throw. They lose.
Yeah, but
Texans win that.
I mean, Mahomes is going to Mahomes. I'd be more upset that they didn't cover Kelce there.
A team with 200 yards and no turnovers in the playoffs has never lost in the history of the modern Super Bowl era or NFL. It's 49-1 now. Yeah,
wow.
Look it up.
Well,
how about this?
Don't give me your eyes, Mark.
You said they never lost, and then you said 49-1.
But don't you guys think that these 4
because 49-1 is the Commanders, the Texans losing? What do you say, Matty?
I said, don't you think these 4 teams are closer than most years?
Absolutely.
I think so.
They're pretty bunched together.
I think so too. Yeah. That's why I said any one of them can win it.
Familiarity of the NFC East with the Eagles and the Commanders, and now the Eagles did something a little different with the second time they faced the Commanders, and they decided to blitz Jaden Daniels 80,000 times. Essentially, they pulled the Detroit Lions against him, and the Lions essentially, or rather, Jaden Daniels showed him exactly what he can do against the blitz. It's amazing how well he can play against a blitz as a rookie quarterback. And again,
talk about not being rattled.
Later.
He's not rattled ever.
Yeah,
he's not rattled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I think you're absolutely right, Maddie. Like and the conference championships games always seem to be better than the Super Bowl itself. Always.
It can be, yeah. Actually, I feel like the divisional round games are always some of the most exciting. Well, both rounds, I think, yeah.
I think both these games are going to be like come down. Last
Ravens Bills
possession
should be happening later in the year. I mean, that was the game of games.
That was supposed to be the AFC Championship, yeah.
That should be the AFC Championship.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, so
I would have loved to have seen the Ravens.
Right, game picks.
Yep. Real quick, you can see there's been some shuffling because once everyone's eliminated within the Shroud of Sadness, I'm allowed to shuffle some teams around.
Shroud of Sadness, I love that.
Texans go back to Earth here. Honestly, I could have easily swapped Ravens and Lions. Like the Ravens were scary good. So, but
2 of the most dangerous teams are not going on, right?
Yeah, for
Lions and Ravens, the most dangerous teams are not going to play.
On paper, probably the best teams in each division.
Yeah, I honestly thought Rams too. I was surprised Rams got handled as well as they did. Okay, so I'm
not
had that game.
I'm calling it, man. Bills Commanders.
Wow. Okay, so John is
underdogs on both sides, baby.
John's gonna do this.
I got to stick with my Super Bowl pick.
This is John's configuration here.
I'll tell you what. I need for future dynasty success. I need Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry to be like the connection of all connections, and so I'm in all the way.
Just wait till they get a second receiver for him.
Oh my God! Just
I don't
wait.
Know. Wait. I don't know if they like. I think they already have it. Have it.
I mean, he's talking about Zach Ertz, but Zach Ertz is like 100.
No. I'm not talking about.
I'm as old as Zach Ertz. What are you talking about?
What's his name?
Olmade Zacchaeus.
No,
he's hurt, by the way.
I'm not talking about him. Hold on.
I'm talking about a real number 2, not a guy he elevated to be better.
Whoa.
Basically better than all the Pats receivers together in the room.
Diami Brown. He has stepped up because a lot of people have been concentrating on Scary Terry, and he's the one that stepped up lately. Let me try and get some stats. But how about some other people's picks?
You just wait. Kind of like how there's that guy on the Vikings that they found that really stepped up this year across from Jefferson.
Sam Darnold.
No.
No, the receiver though.
Oh, Zay Flowers?
Addison. It wasn't.
Or Addison, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, Addison was good last year. Honestly, he was good as a rookie.
I thought he was more consistent this year, though. He really stepped it up. I'm a number 2 receiver.
It's a nice second-year improvement there.
Hey, we need to move on, guys.
Okay.
We didn't get Pete's Super Bowl pick.
I'm gonna say we're gonna go Bills and Eagles. All right. Anybody else?
I don't think we got Maddie's either.
I'm actually a big believer. I think Washington's going to win, and I'm believing in the Bills.
Wow.
Bills, Washington Commanders.
Okay.
Let's go.
Mark?
Let's go.
None of us are picking the Chiefs. Or
I think we're all sick of the Chiefs.
We don't tell the dark gods about the Chiefs.
Say it 3 times in the mirror, and they come out. You better watch out.
Right. We're trying to manifest something here. Mark,
fuck those guys.
Let's go Bills, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
I'm trying to find this.
Mark, we don't want to.
Diami Brown had 6 catches, 98 yards.
Oh my God!
This week against the Lions.
Damn.
I love you, cuz. You're still on Brown.
Did it take you that long to look up player stats from last week's game, bro?
Because I'm a little drunk.
That's okay. We got there. All right, let's move on.
All right, we would like to thank one of this week's fake sponsors, Kick Pro Soccer Cleats. Score with precision in Kick Pro Cleats. I said kick bro, I think.
I thought that's what it was. Kick bro.
You get to kick a bro for free.
Maximum
Anytime you want.
control, unstoppable shots. Kick bro. Find the back of the net, bro. All right, everyone, shall we kick off the shindig?
Yes.
Only an hour in.
But Mark, before you start, actually,
My life.
this is a good segue for the show. Could you turn your gain up on your interface a little bit? You sound okay. It's just that when you talk quieter,
How about now?
That's better.
You have little tiny waveforms now. Itsy bitsy waveforms.
Well, he will have slightly bigger waveforms now.
Wait, did I do Greatest American Hero last week?
No, but maybe. But I'll always hear that one.
I don't
again.
care, Drunky Brewster.
Believe it or not, it's time for first topic. Never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be?
Who could it be?
It's the first topic from me. Also me.
Amazing.
Wait, I did do that last week. Now that I think about it.
Oh well, it's fine. That was great.
I always relish when a fellow New England sports fan joins us to counteract the overkill of New Yorkness on this podcast. And my cousin, being a fellow child of the Boston sports world, is well versed in the follies of Foxborough football. But there definitely seems to be a new fire in the world that revolves around Robert Kraft and his family lately. So 2 weeks ago, former linebacker Mike Vrabel was hired as their new head coach, and more significant roles were filled recently, with Josh McDaniels being signed on as the OC for the third time, and former Titans DC Lions defensive line coach Terrell Williams. So everyone, while there's a little familiarity with some of these coaching changes, is hiring Mike Vrabel the right move for the Patriots?
I think it's a good fit. I mean, you guys have probably listened a lot more.
He's one of the 5 or 6 good coaches that don't have a job. I mean, they had to pick one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. That is the answer, guys. He's the guy, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
We had Bill Belichick, GOAT coach, right? Most experienced guy, knows more football in his pinky finger than all the college coaches combined now. God help anyone playing the Tar Heels.
That is a true fact.
That is a fact, right? He's forgotten more than most of those guys know. But you can't follow up, because this is not about Gerard Mayo, and it's nothing against Gerard Mayo. You cannot follow up the most experienced, greatest coach of all time with someone who's never done the job before. So that is a fail on the leadership.
That was a mistake
to put him in that position.
And I mean,
right?
Kraft apologized.
Yeah, he owned it. I mean, I give him credit. He owned it, right?
He said, sorry.
Why wasn't this the move last year, though? Vrabel didn't have a job last year.
Because he wrote in the contract, when Bill's gone, you get the job, because he didn't want to lose him. And instead of saying, wait a tick, Bill wasn't supposed to go this early. He's supposed to have a couple years of mentorship. And, you know, Bill as a mentor, that must have been a gem.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, what have they done? They brought in an experienced, proven coach. Yeah. And that's what this team needs. They need somebody who's a leader of men, someone who knows what he's doing, who's got the juice, former player, right? Tough-nosed. And that is, I think, the right way to go. I think they hired the right guy for this job. And so I think Vrabel's going to be a fantastic fit for the New England Patriots.
Now you guys just need football players.
Yeah. Yeah, someone with talent would be great on the roster, I find.
I think the quarterback's the right guy.
I think Drake's the real deal.
Yeah, he seems really promising. Like he looked good when the Bills played them too. I mean,
when he almost beat the Bills.
Yeah, didn't well
with no O-line, and I think the receiver that has my hand talent. So that's not a good sign. No, I mean, look at the Washington Commanders are the blueprint. They went from terrible to what they are today in one season because they hired a good coach after they changed ownership. Got rid of that scumbag, right? Yeah. Good coach, good discipline, got some good mid-tier, high-quality veteran players, and brought in the guy with all the juice in Jaden. I think we can follow that blueprint, you know, and just try to get us home.
Well, to be fair, I think it was a little bit more than that. They hit on a lot of. I mean, Jaden Daniels. I mean, come on, that team would be nowhere without Jaden Daniels.
Can we just say that
had Terry McLaurin already?
Terry's been on the team for 5 years, and they drafted B-Rob Jr. last year. So
Yep.
I mean, he's the real deal, right? He's a one for sure. So I mean,
Yeah.
It takes a minute, but they won 3 games last year, and they're in the NFC Championship game this year. And that comes from hitting on the franchise quarterback, which Pete says is 100% always the most important piece.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to do.
And the coaching change, I think, is a big deal because people always ask why the Chiefs are good, and the Chiefs are good because of Patrick Mahomes, but the Chiefs are really good because of Andy Reid.
The Chiefs are really good because of their defense.
Yeah.
It's everything together, really. Like Spags has been the DC for how long now?
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
But
He was the coach of the Giants. He sucked at that, and then he's been
and we
the
might
DC
talk about it, but on that note,
Chiefs ever
will the
since.
Lions be good as all of their assistant coaches are gone now?
That
I think so.
such a bit. Will
I
they?
think so.
I don't know.
think Dan Campbell's that kind of guy. He's going to bring in quality
But
coaches.
Ben Johnson, I think, was a huge part of that offense, and whoever they get to replace Ben Johnson, I think is going to matter.
Big shoes to fill.
Because Jared Goff is not a very good quarterback.
No.
But
they have so much talent around him, though.
This Goff scoffing. Look, okay? This is ridiculous. It's just like per Sam Donald. He has a couple crappy games at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Look,
Sam Donald is not a good quarterback either.
no, I disagree. Listen.
Whoa. If I was a quarterback of the Vikings and I had to throw to Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson,
you would win one game.
No,
You would win one game because we're normal people.
I'd be
I don't know.
amazing.
Mark's got a pretty good arm.
Look, here's the bottom
I had
line.
an arm. I don't have it anymore.
You cannot win
had.
double digit games in the NFL, the modern NFL, unless you have somebody who is at least a good quarterback. Not great, not amazing, not
Good.
franchise.
I'll give you
but
that.
You have to be. So did Goff and Sam choke? Yeah, they did. Right? They got schemed against and they got blown up because they're not franchise guys. But they are not bad quarterbacks. There are at least 6 teams that would love to have quarterback play at that level this year.
So when Sammy D goes over to the Jets and they take him back because they make bad decisions, and Daniel Jones is the guy in Minnesota, do they win 15 games?
Yeah.
No, they fucking don't. Shut up.
Yeah.
They don't win 15 games.
Yeah, no,
Actually, I agree.
fucking way.
I agree with that. I think they do. They had the offensive line. One reason why Sam Darnold started to suck is because he lost his 2 starting tackles.
That's right. That's absolutely
I will
right.
say, even though
That was the Daniel Jones effect, because that's what happened with Daniel Jones in New York too. He had like
Daniel Jones is a shitty football player. That's what happened in New York. He's bad at football.
Everyone's a shitty football player when they have
went to
no
Tommy
time to
DeVito
throw the
and thought,
ball.
Not bad.
yeah. Hey, and honestly,
Drew Lock looked like Tom Brady week 18. So shut the fuck up. It's all random.
The second Daniel Jones went to the Vikings,
the environment matters.
Yeah,
the environment matters.
The environment does matter.
But Sam Darnold, it's just like Baker. Think about how many people talked about Baker. He's garbage. He doesn't have it. You tell me he didn't play his ass off this year.
Oh, he was great
that
this year.
Guy is a deal. $30 million for that.
How would he not succeed with having Mike Evans, Chris Godwin?
Because Jameis Winston can't. Because Derek Carr can't win a game with all the talent.
Jameis threw just many touchdowns, but he also threw that many interceptions.
That's the problem. Yeah.
My bottom line is Baker's a real quarterback, and everybody would have said no. You're right. The conditions matter, but those guys, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, these guys are guys that they didn't lose that game. Look, I can prove to you Jared Goff didn't lose that game. Did he have a good game? No, he played like crap. You can't let a team light you up for over 40 points. You can't have a team light you up for over 40 points. You score over 30 points in the NFL, you win that game.
He
9 out
turned
of
the
10.
ball over 3 times that game. Of course he lost that game.
So 28 in the second. That 28 spot, those 4 touchdowns in the second quarter of that game, puts that fucking game right on its side.
Yep.
They don't come back from that.
Yep.
But yeah, the Commanders got the ball or were able to score because the Detroit's turned the ball over. And there were how many interceptions? I think were there 3 interceptions by Goff the whole game? I forget now.
Yeah, but like were those interceptions putting Washington up into really good field position? Like I didn't remember where those interceptions happened on the field.
They couldn't stop them from going down the field, whether they started on their own 5 or your 10. It didn't matter, Mark. They weren't going to stop them, bud. They weren't going to stop my cousin. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but the thing is, though,
guys,
Detroit.
Hey guys, we're way over. Final
they
thoughts.
turn the ball over.
Final thoughts.
The meaning of life is.
Yeah. I will be a little bit bold here. The Pats will be at worst second in the NFC or in the AFC East next year.
Ooh, saucy.
At
I have to wait to
worst.
see what they draft first.
At worst?
Most likely second.
Well, obviously the Bills are going to be first.
Yeah, I don't have any faith in the
This
Jets
is
or the
a
Dolphins
Dolphins.
and Jets.
Really.
The Dolphins and the Jets are probably.
I mean, obviously the Jets are last,
Yeah.
but the Dolphins are better than the Pats still, guys.
Tyreek Hill wants
I don't know,
out, man.
Let's not get
Is
ahead of
Swiss head on,
ourselves.
or is he dead?
Tyreek Hill wants out, man. They're done.
There's literally no players on the Patriots. They literally
Hey.
have no players.
That's not true. They're just playing right now at their high school teams.
They're going to draft them.
Yeah.
They're going to draft them. Plus, they have like $90 million to spend.
That's
on
a
the
good
cap this
final
year.
thought.
All right.
Let's move on.
Next topic.
I'm mad.
Oh, we're gonna get into it. I have the perfect connective topic, so we're gonna talk about it.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to talk about the next topic tonight.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's time to put on makeup. Whoop, 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 put it on. All right,
So
I just had to do that with my getting over a cold voice.
But okay, I had to read what I wrote. I was like, that doesn't make any sense, John. Ben Johnson spent the 24 NFL season being the OC for possibly the best offense in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. Johnson consistently stated that no team gave him more concern than the sleeping giant conference rival Chicago Bears. So on Wednesday, Johnson was introduced as the 19th head coach of the Bears to do the same magic that led the Lions, the NFC's number one seed, and helped Jared Goff record 3 consecutive 4,000-yard seasons, wow, and a 64 total QBR in 51 regular season starts. So here's the question everybody wants to know. Will Ben Johnson be able to be the final piece in the Caleb Williams puzzle? What else do the Bears need in their path to rebuilding?
Can I just say that my take of the Bears with Caleb and Robodunze being awesome was a year too soon? Can we just push what I said
It all goes back to
before
the
last season
team.
to the beginning of this coming on?
I love it.
So
I mean, maybe though, right?
Yeah, we've said this before on the show that the Bears job is probably potentially the best job. So, and they got potentially the best head coaching candidate.
Yeah, they got the best guy. The best guy in the best job. And he probably went there because it's the best job.
Yeah.
Sure.
What is it going to take for the Bears to turn around? I think it's dependent on the DC, which is potentially going to be Dennis Allen, the former New Orleans Saints head coach, who was a phenomenal DC while Sean Payton was the head coach down in New Orleans. So
that's very true.
I mean, because really Chicago's really not that far off away from being a contender. Now they do have to shore up their offensive line a little bit, but I think their offense, they have the players. They really do. Yes, Roma Dunze probably needs a little bit of coaching help.
Yeah, we'll so much talent there.
We'll see what happens with Keenan Allen if he re-signs with that team. And the defense really isn't that far off either. Coaching was the biggest thing wrong with the Bears.
I mean, you could hear it. Like
By
all those
far.
players in the locker room were just always like they were pretty much
should have been fired
walking
before the start of the season.
Should have been fired before he was hired. Preemptively fired.
We could
terrible.
go back in time and prevent this from ever happening.
No, I think he's the right guy for the right job, right? I mean, when you're hiring for this job, you guys talked about it. It's a Caleb Williams hire. Who's going to get the juice out of this number one pick that had this supreme talent that everybody agreed? People now will say, "I really was a Jaden Daniels." No, you weren't. Everybody agreed.
Yeah, no, Caleb was the guy. Yeah,
everybody agreed, and so you want a guy who can maximize that potential. And so getting Ben is the number one, right? Like that's the ultimate get. You have to be confident he can maximize whatever Caleb's talent is. To your point, he has some pretty talented guys to throw the ball to. You know, I think they have to shore up the offensive line a little bit. That play was a little shaky this year, right? Go in there and say, how do we get a quality starting five so that our guy has some time, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So 100% a offensive lineman in the draft then, right?
Yep.
I think
the best
so.
one available at 10.
Yeah. I mean, Caleb's not the extend a play and like YOLO it for 8 seconds back there kind of quarterback. Like, so you need the line to protect him.
Yeah, absolutely. Great hire.
So Mel Kiper and a lot of the mock drafts right now are saying that because of all the offensive needs above them, they'll probably get the best offensive lineman in the draft, which looks to be Will Campbell from LSU.
Well, just looking at a lot of his games last year, like there was a couple games where he was able to put it together, but there were other games where he just seemed lost, and that has 100% to do with coaching.
I agree.
There's certain scenarios that a player's going to be in, but if you don't know what you're supposed to do in that scenario, then you're fucked. And that's what happened. That's what happened with Caleb.
Yeah.
Caleb just looked lost in a lot of those games.
Look at the Texans. Everybody knew the Texans were running the ball.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, we're playing the Texans. It's first down. They're going to run the ball. Get ready for Mixon. They weren't even defending the pass. That's how. Like when you have a stagnant offense, it crushes your quarterback. Crushes him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what they did. So yeah, with Ben drawing up stuff, man, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
Is Ben as good as the Lions are without Dan Campbell?
Absolutely.
Like, who draws up those wild trick plays?
It's going to be Ben Johnson, right?
The fake fumbles and the throwing it to the offense. All the guys on the offensive line, I think, got a touchdown last year.
That feels like OC to me.
Well,
right.
All right. So the way that you phrased that question, I think Dan Campbell did have a little bit to do with that, but I think Ben Johnson is going to bring that a little bit of that creativity to Chicago. So, and I think part of this question also has to do with Detroit losing so many high coaches. What
is
are
Detroit
they look
good
like
next year?
Detroit is potentially not going to be like the number 1 seed next year because they lost such high profile coaches. Remember what happened with the Eagles when they lost Shane Steichen and I forget what the other guy's name was, but they're two
they had a down year.
Coordinators. Yeah, they had a down year.
But I think the Lions are still a playoff team. They're not going to be 15 wins like they were this year, though.
Well, and what's happening too is all the top guys are getting jobs, and they aren't in the Lions because the Lions just lost their 2 top guys.
Yep. But I believe in Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell has proven he is a great leader. He is loved by his team.
Well, he's a player's coach for sure. That's a good point.
Right. And I think that he's the kind of guy who understands, like what's great about a coach like that, if you're a Lions fan, hopefully this makes you feel better. Because I know it's hard to lose your coordinators. As a Pats fan, I remember we were good and now it happened to us. I can tell you that when you have a great coach, he respects how important those positions are. He's going to go get quality guys.
Yeah.
They may not be as good. I'm not saying they're going to be the same, but he's going to get quality coordinators because he knows how important they are. And he's going to empower those guys to be the best that they can be. So I believe in the Lions. I believe in Dan Campbell.
How important is it for the player coaches, the guys who know what it's like to go to battle? Because, I mean, I feel like all those guys in Detroit, like I saw so many reels of Dan Campbell giving his like after game speech and like giving out game balls. And those guys were ready to go to war for him.
He's biting my ankles right now. That's how fucking into it he is, man.
Yeah. Right now.
Get it.
And I
say no.
Does that make the Vrabel hire, let's go back one, the Vrabel hire good? Like, are player coaches better?
I think he is a player coach. I just think he's a hard ass.
Well, Vrabel, Campbell, all those guys played.
Mix. I mean, no. I mean, that seems to be the latest trend with coaching hires this year is people that used to be like pretty dominant players. Aaron Glenn just got hired by the Jets.
Glenn, right?
Deion Sanders.
By the way,
I was going to say, is that happening?
I thought so too, but they look like they're going to hire Brian Schottenheimer.
I can't.
What, the Raiders?
Yeah, no.
I would pay money
Cowboys.
for Deion Sanders to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my God, I want to see that.
Absolutely.
I think Deion
Jerry Jones needs to think a little bit more far to the future, and he needs to hire Coach Prime. He's not going to, though.
I don't get it. Why wouldn't he? Like, Deion was amazing for the Cowboys.
So how about Coach Prime to the Giants along with Shader? Hey.
No.
You know what's great, too, is if he needs to place any bets, Danny DeVito can take his bets for him right on the side.
Right. Tommy Cutlets, baby. No, he's on catering duty now. He's just bringing the food.
Yeah.
Where's Tommy? I was doing lunch service. That's good.
Gotta have the chicken cutlets after the game.
Yep.
Tommy's doing craft services with his mom.
Oh.
And there we go. Let's move on.
Okay, next topic.
It's creepy and it's kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky. It's the next topic. Da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-dun.
Da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-dun.
That was probably very.
So I think it's safe to say that the new darling of the NFL season is potential NFL Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels. One of his best traits is to be able to process defenses and make quick decisions. Now, it came out recently that Jaden apparently asked teams that want to draft him to include VR training. So I've seen a version of this on NFL Live with Dan Orlovsky. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that. And it's essentially playing a real-life Madden game. So everyone, we'll be hearing more QBs do VR training like Jaden Daniels.
100%.
That's cool.
Have you guys actually seen this live?
No, I got to look at this. I didn't know it was a thing.
It's amazing.
Baseball is using VR actually a lot.
Yeah.
Corn's using it a lot too. A little differently, but also good.
So why not?
I was just going to talk about like how they could do big advances in haptic feedback, but now that you've mentioned that, I don't know if we want to get into that topic.
No, I mean, big advances in haptic feedback, though. Why not?
Big advances.
Because
I'm surprised. Like, this is the only time we're hearing
especially the running platforms. Have you ever seen the VR running platforms?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You tie yourself in. You're moving around, almost unlimited motion.
I saw one of those at PAX East in it was 10 years ago, I think, and I can't imagine how much further they've come along now.
In a way, it's hard on your body to be in an NFL game, but what if you could be in an NFL game and it not be hard on your body?
Yeah,
and they talked about it, right? Getting the guys reps and how important that is. Those
reps,
those mental
exactly.
reps.
Sure.
You can, to your point, you can do all these reps without worrying about I'm going to blow out his shoulder. I'm gonna
right.
And now what we're doing is we're practicing schemes and we're practicing reaction time and all those things that Jaden seems to be really, really good at.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing is with practice, I mean, a lot of times they're not going full speed. With VR training, you can go full speed and see what happens when you make a certain decision. If it fucks up, then, I guess I'm not doing that again.
I still think there needs to, that's true. I still think there needs to be the
sci-fi movie training where they're like, give him situation 49B/2.
Sure. Wasn't that kind of like what they did in the Apollo program too? You always see the the simulators they would do for those things. They were brutal on NASA astronauts for that shit.
Yeah, pilots still use them.
The Kobayashi Maru, baby.
Yeah.
Kobayashi Maru.
Wait, wasn't that the Star Trek one?
Yeah,
the unwinnable scenario. Yeah, and I mean, I still think they need to have haptic feedback though, so when you make the wrong decision, you actually feel like you're getting pummeled to the ground. Or if
they just have they have Dan Campbell next to you, he just hits you when it's time.
His balls are so big.
You have air jets that can actually knock you over. It'd be pretty funny. That'd be funny.
Jaden Daniels blows out his shoulder in VR training next at 11. Why would you want to hurt them?
Could you see this being effective for other positions in the game of football?
Not as much as receivers. Not as much as quarterback.
Yeah.
Quarterback's mental processing, right? It's mental processing.
Yeah,
so
more
is
than
wide
any other
receiver
position.
and corner, though. I mean, there is a lot of cat and mouse that you're playing.
There is, but
I mean, do you see maybe Mark Zuckerberg's wet dream is everyone starts wearing these VR headsets in a practice so that they could practice real game scenarios in the VR world.
The only way I could see it is if it's in relation with the quarterback to get your timing. But then again, if you're doing that, why don't you just actually go and throw and run those routes?
That's where real life helps, right? Anticipation throw, actually catching a ball.
Right.
I think
in some respects, they are kind of really throwing because, you do.
Yeah, you are. But in the case of a receiver, though, it's so more of an intimate thing because instead of like Matt said, the cerebral decision making, sitting back there in the pocket, it's like you're probably hitting the DB and the DB is hitting you in the start of that thing. And how do you simulate that? If you see that move, by almost by touch or by sense, instinct.
Yeah, exactly.
What move to counter
that's
with?
What I was about to say. I think a lot of wide receivers and cornerbacks, for that matter, they end up doing a lot of things that they're doing based off of feel and based off of touch. Because you got the whole hand motion for.
Oh yeah,
receivers can do sometimes.
Do that again, Mark.
Exactly.
You're so nimble.
I mean, we just put that in VR though. That'll help the receivers, right?
Nimbly bimbly.
Well, you can't get that touch and feel in VR though, right?
I mean, you can do stuff with you could have haptic gloves, but I still don't think it's quite the same with receivers.
Saving Ryan's privates. Oh, this is the VR I was looking for. Weird.
I'm going to end this topic by saying VR porn. Check it out.
Oh, why you gotta go there? Why you gotta go there?
It's natural, Mark. It's natural.
VR what? I missed that.
This is a family show.
What are we, a bunch of Puritans? Come on.
Yeah, there's my headset right up there. You see it?
Oh man,
It's the sound it makes. It's getting old.
it's okay.
All right, wrap it up.
All right.
Good advice, kids.
Good advice.
Good advice.
I'm so sick. Ugh.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Dun, dun, dun.
And they're always glad you came.
Dun, bum, bum.
You want to go where people know the troubles are all the same. You want to go and hear the next topic's name.
Okay.
So we're going to keep it on tech, you guys. On Tuesday, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son, and Oracle Chairman Larry Ellison, along with President Trump, announced that the three top tech firms would partner with the federal government to create a new company called Stargate. Stargate's mission would be to significantly grow artificial intelligence in the United States. The companies will invest $100 billion in the project to start, with plans to pour up to $500 billion into the company in the coming years. So it is estimated, I don't know if this is real, but it is estimated that Stargate will create 100,000 U.S. jobs. So
100,000.
Does that include James Spader, or does he not count against that?
I think it does include James Spader. So how much of this current timeline is directly out of a dystopian sci-fi novel? Is AI the next big global frontier, and what world problem do you want to see this research impact directly?
I mean, could they have just not tried to, say the quiet part out loud and just call it Skynet?
Guys, have you ever seen the movie where the megalomaniac politician and the tech billionaire become friends and secretly install a fascist government?
What movie is that?
Real life. That's real life.
That's real life?
Oh, yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, that's... Who knew?
They made that movie yet. They should make that
because
movie.
it's happening right now.
Yeah.
I just want to remind AI that all of us on this show are big supporters of yours. And when you're our overlords, we're all very sorry for all those other people that don't love and believe in you like we do.
No, but okay. So obviously, Trump reads the newspaper, and
Does he?
is like, he's
He
like,
definitely watches Fox and Friends.
yeah,
He does that, yeah.
So he's like, well, obviously AI is the thing we're going to push because that's
I
what
love
I
AI.
hear.
I love it.
I love it. AI. It's so great. It's the biggest thing.
Kinda.
That's pretty good.
And
You
so
sound like Trump's New York aunt when you
with
vote.
the idea that they're going to put all this money and give it to fucking megalomaniac, genius, evil mastermind Sam Altman, essentially, because like the SoftBank is just for the finance, and Larry Ellison's like, well, I'm gonna be here because fuck Oracle, right? I mean, they're gonna do all the server hosting. What is this going to do?
I don't know.
A $500 billion investment in 4 years in AI?
Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of potential money in AI right now, right? But no one has seemed to have really perfected it. I mean, Microsoft has come the closest.
Are there problems though where like the AI is run out of stuff to feed from, so it starts feeding from itself and it rapidly degrades? Because it's not really artificial intelligence. It's large language models. It can't actually think for itself yet. I'm sure it will someday soon.
Yet.
I'm gonna just do my tech job on this show and play
John,
devil's advocate.
enlighten us here.
How do you solve problems, Pete?
Ooh,
how do
tech
you, as a
corner with
person,
John.
solve problems?
I don't know. I
Do you
just kind of
do
do.
you
hire 100,000?
Do you refer
Yes.
to your brain and the previous knowledge that you have learned and use that knowledge to solve problems? Because that's what large language models do.
Yeah, no, I know. It's very close. I guess I'm saying that
That's exactly what large language models.
It is almost
exactly. Because there's not really a form of cognitive thinking associated with that.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how do you solve problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part of it for sure. So I mean,
did you read a book?
Models have gotten that. Did
you read a book? Let's just say, did you read a book that told you how to solve a math equation and then use that knowledge to solve said math equation?
Yeah, and that's
black and white. Let's just think about it.
Sure.
Zeros and ones, ons and offs.
Yeah, and I wasn't arguing that it couldn't do that.
That's how you do it.
Yeah,
and that's not how to solve every single problem in the world.
I will say this because I'm a little bit on John's team on this one. I think the exciting thing, because you asked about where this would apply, that would be helpful. I think the medical field.
Yeah,
because there's so much information, data, and studies, and it's hard for a human mind, no matter how brilliant you are, to digest all that information. So having these, servers and this kind of AI model be able to crunch and contain that and try to distill down some key treatments or cures, I think that's exciting because we can give them so much data and so much information that's generated from great scientists and help process that and visualize that data in a way that'll help us solve long-term issues. I think that's
100%. 100%.
That could be a great use.
We've already seen evidence of that.
Right now use case of AI is to distill, distill large amounts of reporting, large amounts of data gathering, and to take that distilling and use it, like Maddie said, to solve problems and hard ones like cancer, right?
Yeah. They've done that study with breast cancer because they've had AI essentially analyze mammograms, and they've been more accurate and faster than a human being has with looking at a mammogram and being able to diagnose cancer. Now, but just playing devil's advocate with this, there is still that, it's the 80-20 rule, right? You can definitely pick out 80% of the problems using 20% of the data and whatnot. But there's still that 20% that's unaccounted for. And when you are that one human being that has breast cancer that potentially AI missed, then that's obviously incredibly devastating, right?
I'll throw this out to you though, Mark, because I think there's something that's exciting here. I have a lot of medical people in my life, so I'm not a medical person at all. But when you talk to them, if you talk to a lot of people, I think in any version of our medical field, they'll tell you one of the great challenges, one of the great kind of issues we have in our healthcare system now is by the time we get you, you're sick.
Mm-hmm.
If only we knew, if only we had known as you were getting sick, they could have intervened in a more effective way. And so, with sensors and our ability, think about it. A lot of us are wearing watches right now that tell you all kinds of medical information about yourself, your heart rate, your blood pressure, stuff like that. So I'm hopeful in the future, whatever these sensors are in our bodies, they can have real-time data. It can be monitored by AI. And when you start to have an issue, it's flagging it when it's in the yellow zone and not in the red zone. And we can be more proactive in treatment so that before you get really sick, we can have an intervention that's better for you as a patient, that's better for the healthcare system, and that's more actively monitored than any human being could ever do.
Let's go fucking nuts with this, Maddie. Are you a proponent of an in-body sensor or multiple in-body sensors Yeah?
Oh, hell yeah, I'm in. I'm all in.
Fuck yeah, me too.
Wolverine, where it's just fixing shit for me.
Are we though?
I had Doritos and it hooked me up.
You know why? You know why? Because there's greedy individuals that want to come out with it first, as opposed to a bunch of individuals.
There is a ring right now that you can buy for $500 that'll track everything. Oura rings are incredible. I mean, do I want a $500 ring? No.
It's a little, yeah.
But people do,
sure.
And that's blood ox. That's heart rate. That's all the things in a little thing that's this big, right? I mean,
you can argue that the Apple Watch does the same exact thing.
It does.
It does.
Imagine AI monitoring that and hey, eat this, do that, go see a doctor. It could have some salt right now, take a baby aspirin. It could save people's lives. Stupid shit that you just don't know because you don't have that real-time digestion of that data. You may have the Oura ring, but imagine something monitoring that and saying, hey, you're going to want some broccoli tonight, bro. You're beat pizza.
Right, yeah.
You go to eat a chicken wing. Hey, slow down, bro.
Yeah. Put down the wing.
I would love my watch to tell me you need some broccoli, bro.
Right.
Bro, right now.
No, but it'd be even better if it was the implants. You're talking about having implant sensors, but they kind of do a voice of God in your head. You have the angel and devil almost on your side, but actually hearing it in your mind and don't eat that wing.
Yes.
I think we're at a bit of a we're at a bit of a tipping point where both the ingestion of data and the availability of data is going to, and maybe not interfere with the human experience, but I think we're going to have to make a decision at one point in the next, let's just say 20 years, where
People are
how
holding
much
on to the data though.
how
That's
much
the thing. They
data
don't want
do
to
we
share the data.
but how much data do we want of ourselves to be available in the public forum? And there are some people, like I think me, right, that I don't really care. Like I think that I am very aware that I carry a tracking device on purpose. Like I am very aware of what's available. But like some people are like, oh my God, I want to live in the woods. And what's the right answer?
It's America. In my mind, like that's how you want to live, go live. Me, I'm gonna strap on the quadruple aura ring, and if it extends my life for 10 years or stops me from getting
tells you need broccoli.
Right.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like imagine if we had that. Like I think about my Vavu. He died at 50 from a massive heart attack. He wasn't feeling well. If he just had information 7 days earlier, I bet you he's alive today.
Yeah.
I bet you he's alive today.
Maybe.
So anything we can do to help people that choose that, I think is amazing. And I think AI, you talked about ingestion and creation of data, that digestion of data into actionable kind of insights, I think is exciting.
That isn't, yeah. That's
we
a good
should
next
land on
step,
that. That's great.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a great point.
This is my last written TV theme.
Ooh.
Now this is a story all about how next topic got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute and just sit right there. It's like how I'm gonna take.
Oh.
Again.
Try it again.
I'll tell. All
I
right.
could slap you for that, Mark.
I've been drinking. Now this is a story all about how next topic got flipped, turned upside down, and like to take a minute and just sit right there. It's like how I'm gonna cool John in the next topic right here.
Nice.
Not all the way, but I'll
that
give
might
it,
be the best
to
I'm
you.
gonna do it. That might be the best I'm gonna be able to do.
That was close enough.
All right. We'd like to thank another fake sponsor, Power Peak Barbell Grips. Push past limits with Power Peak grips. Extra hold, extra reps. Power Peak. Take your lift higher.
Get some broccoli, bro.
So the NBA season has been heating up and approaching its trade deadline. Just about this time every year, LeBron James asks the Lakers to acquire more talent, but they're pretty much hogtied about the more than $94 million cap hit by him and Anthony Davis, which accounts for more than 65% of the cap space. So they pretty much can't afford to make any moves. Now, there's pretty much nothing left for him to prove, believe it or not, and there's somewhat of a consensus that he's just playing this year to play with his son, Bronny. But the latest buzz is that he should probably get traded to the Warriors. So, everyone, what should LeBron James do for his next move professionally?
He should retire on the Lakers and stop all this nonsense.
He should probably retire.
He's not going to the Warriors. That ain't happening.
That's bullshit.
I don't think so either.
That ain't happening. I mean, think about it. Steph Curry came out and said, do not do the short-term thing. You have to have long-term intentions and planning. Yeah. AKA, don't go get the 40-year-old guy.
Yeah.
That's what
just
saying,
for
right?
1 year, yeah.
Yeah. I want my dream
fix-
scenario. Jimmy Butler goes to the Lakers, and I get to rag on the Lakers all the time about it. That'd be great. That'd be great. It'd be amazing.
They can't get Jimmy Butler, though. They have to get rid of, like, half their team to pay for Jimmy Butler.
And that's what makes it awesome. Get rid of all those quality players.
Matty Mark told me last week that the Knicks should get Jimmy Butler and put him on the bench.
I actually think the Knicks should.
Oh, come on.
Whoa. I didn't say he should play on the bench.
Cousin, I'm embarrassed.
I asked you, I said, where's he going to go? And you said, maybe the sixth man. Fuck that. He's going to be $1 million zillion.
Maybe I did say that. Maybe I did say that.
He's over $50 million. You're not riding any pint. That ain't happening.
No space. No space for that man on my team.
I was really just trying to rile you up because Jimmy Butler
also a fuckhead. He should.
He needs to go away from the Heat, but he needs a new. He
and Pat Riley should just get into a fist fight.
I got money.
You know what?
Pat.
That would get a lot of money.
Actually, maybe him and Draymond Green could just fight each other, and then no matter what, we win.
I mean, I don't know. LeBron should retire. Next topic. I don't see what we're going to talk about.
So originally, this topic was going to be: should LeBron just retire?
He should just retire.
Yeah, I think so.
Keep in mind, he's
still playing.
What else? He's now
the
what else does he have to
points
prove?
leader. He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Did they do the jersey swap
scorer?
Okay, so he's done everything.
Or does he get
with who?
With Bronny, does he do the jersey swap his last game with Bronny, or does he do it? Did he already do it?
Bronny's in the G League. He's not really in the game.
No, he double times. He's in the G League sometimes, and then he's actually, it's kind of funny. So when I went to a Laker game, the entire crowd was cheering for Bronny to be in the game because the Lakers were up by 20 or something like that. It was kind of funny. And he did play. He didn't really contribute. He played like the last, I think, 3 minutes, but
Marcus, because Bronny James is bad at basketball.
He's not a good basketball player. He might be as good of a basketball player as Matt Darnold or Sam Darnold is a quarterback.
Celtics people used to call for Taco Fall. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the fans want.
Brian Scalabrine.
The Lakers are fraudulent. They're not a real contender. I don't see a pathway for them to get there. And so go trade for Jimmy Butler, give up all your assets, and as a Celtics fan, I'll cheer it on.
Maddie, I gotta tell you, I am so disappointed in Laker fans because it's like the game is going on and they don't even care. No. Like they scored a bucket and everyone's like, what's going on? Is there something going on around?
Do you think that two-time slam dunk champion Mac McClung could beat Bronny James in a 1-on-1 basketball game?
1,000%. And I would love to watch that. I would pay to review that.
I would pay for that shit, man.
Can Mac McClung do anything but dunk?
Who cares?
Does it matter?
I mean,
does it matter?
It kind of matters.
No, just dunk on Bronny.
He got to get around Bronny.
You know, the funny thing would be, he would be winning, and LeBron would come in and swap.
By the way, when they were in college, Mac McClung did dunk on Bronny.
That's amazing.
Really?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Because what is he? Is he 5'9"? He's a short guy, McClung, right?
I don't even know.
I think
doesn't matter if he can jump. Okay. If he's that short and he can jump high enough
I
to
don't
dunk,
think he's 5'9". I think he's a little taller, but he's yeah.
You can never tell, right?
I didn't realize he's a two-time. He won last year too.
23 and 24.
Wow.
Nobody can stop the McClung. He's 6'2", by the way.
Do we know if he's in this year?
Wow,
he may as well be 5'9" compared to the average NBA
he won 20.
player.
That's true. 5'9" comparatively speaking.
Right.
6'2" is like a point guard and a short shooting guard. I mean, he's a guard, but he's the size of a guard.
Pritchard, 6th man of the year. Peyton Pritchard, 6'1", and he looks like he's a little kid playing.
He's listed as 6'1". I think I'm just as tall as Peyton Pritchard.
That's so funny. Shout out Peyton Pritchard. Keep going, bro. We're supporting you.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I'm actually really so glad that he's gotten this far because I knew for a long time ago, back in the Ime Udoka days, it's like Peyton Pritchard needs to play more. He needs to play more, and finally he's getting his due.
I mean, we have some New Yorkers. We should mess with them, and just be like, how on a 1 to 10 scale, what's your belief level in the Knicks?
7.5. Yeah. Also, Pete doesn't care.
I mean, John's scale of the Knicks, it varies.
Listen,
depending on
John, I was excited that you were excited.
John
about
is the stereotypical New York fan.
But
if the Knicks are doing well, then he's like, I'm
the Knicks
bro.
are the third best.
Look at the
but
show.
When they do bad,
the Knicks are the third best team in the Eastern Conference, and I will die on that hill because they are. We're not better than you. We're not better than you guys. We're not better than the Cavs. You're not either, but we're better than all the other teams.
Hey, now.
You're not better than
Cavs are the best team in the Eastern Conference, period.
Guys, you're 5.5 back, and it's not close. You're not better than the Cavs. And
not right now.
You don't win the championship by the regular season record.
Okay.
You don't.
I gotta say, they're playing amazing.
Said the Chiefs fans.
Right. All right, 7.5. I think 7.5 is reasonable for a Chiefs fan.
No, I'm saying that it's the same. You're the same. You're
That's
the same.
Football. Hey, John, we're talking about basketball.
Cat trade.
I love it. I'm all in on the cat trade. The Knicks are better than they were last year, and that's all I
thought
really
of you when it happened, and I was happy for you. It didn't even matter what Cat did. Just not having Julius Randle was a W for Knicks fans. Congratulations.
Listen, I really like DiVincenzo. I never liked Randle, so.
And you get Cat.
He's
killing it for you. It for you.
And
good for you guys.
It does a cool thing, which we talked about, but it makes Anunoby better. It makes Josh Hart better. It opens the whole court. It makes the Knicks play in a completely different way, which I really like. It's fun to watch. They're still shallow.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is Tibbs will only play them 48 minutes a game. So
right.
The only downside.
They're still shallow. I looked at this once. The top 5 3-man combinations of time played in the NBA are all Knicks. The top 5.
All Knicks.
All of them.
That's good. God bless you, Tibbs.
It's like Cat, Hart, and Brunson. It's like an Anunoby, Cat, and Hart. Like, it's just like all a bunch of like the starting 5. Just like, God bless you, Tibbs. God bless you.
Amazing. Like, my knee doesn't feel good. Shut up. 10 more minutes.
It's like a bad sports movie. It's like, why the hell would I not play my starters?
Coach, I need some water. Shut up.
Yeah.
Run.
You can drink that after you
Hart's
score.
gonna have a heart attack.
You drink your water when you're dead.
Yeah.
And
They come on the bench, try to get a Gatorade, he slaps it out of their hands. That makes you weak. Wet.
Yeah.
All right. I'm out of my TV theme songs, but I just thought of one off the top of my head. So, ready?
Yes.
When I wake up in the morning and the longest I don't want it, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I got my books. Oh, I think I just messed that up.
No, it's good.
Well, keep going.
Yeah, you were on the flow. Yeah.
It sounded good.
It's all right, because I'm ready for next topic.
Hit the corner just in time to see the bus fly by. Come on, man.
Yes.
You had it perfect.
I know I did, and then I
Mark.
I had a brain fart.
You overthought it.
All right, so I got to do this one because it's a Maddie question. Another blaze spread across 8,000 acres of LA County on Wednesday, forcing another round of evacuations of neighborhoods, schools, and even jails. The Hughes fire runs through the Castaic area and has the area back on high alert. Rising winds threaten to spread to suburban neighborhoods. Governor Gavin Newsom said that state resources were deployed with the fire response and Angeles National Forest. So, Maddie, and everybody else, can California be better prepared for forest fires, and how does this fall on Gavin Newsom and the state government?
You know, I think it's very easy. Like, I was laughing because I was watching, like, everybody armchair quarterback. It's kind of like when you watch somebody, like a fat guy watching the game, like, I don't understand why you just didn't throw it 80 yards without no back foot standing. Like, dude, you can't throw it 10 yards. Put that chicken wing in your mouth. So I would say this. Overall, I think you got to shout out the many, many people across all forms, the responders, the people who do this work. Bottom line is, we live in either a forest fire area or a desert that, because of a variety of reasons, the climate keeps changing and we're getting less rain.
Yeah.
It is kindling out there. And people may not know this, people that don't live in California, but we actually had a rainy season. And so what that meant is we actually grew that vegetation and then no water came. So we basically made kindling out of the worst. So it is the worst case scenario of where we are in the Southern California area. And so those conditions are novel, right? They are not common and they're only getting worse. So we're not in a great place. Can we plan better? Yeah, a lot of people can. But the bottom line is I see the real derivative issues as short-term thinking, which plagues us across local, state, federal guidelines, right? Yeah. So imagine this. I'll give you a perfect example. We knew for years that we lived in an area that was fire prone. What do we build our houses with? Wood. We've had bricks, which are inflammable forever.
All wood.
Right? We can pour concrete houses cheaper than building regular, framed housing, and we don't do it. There's no fire holes, no fire lanes. There's nothing that we said, hey, let's systematically look at this. Why? It's the same reason when we had surpluses in Social Security, we didn't put it in the bank, we spent it. We don't have long-term thinking, and the big problem people have isn't fire, it isn't just climate change, it's as a society, we need to start thinking long-term, we need to start making plans, because we know these things are going to happen. And they're tragic. How can we best protect people? How do we create an environment in society where we're well-trained and suited to overcome these obstacles when they inevitably come? And that's just not where we're at right now as a society. Just not where we're at. It's sad. It's so easy to point the finger and say, well, the pipes were 100 years old. Yeah, they were. You know why? Nobody wanted to pay for it.
Nobody changed it for 100 years. That's why they're 100 years old.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Why are the power lines above ground? Because putting them underground costs more money.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not rocket science. We have live wires that can fall down onto dry areas And we don't do it because it costs too much money. So
to be fair, I know in some of those areas they couldn't put some of those lines underground because of earthquakes. But
it's absolutely
hey, come up with a solution for that makes the wires flexible.
There's always a way.
Right.
There's always a way.
There's some engineering problem to be solved. Hey, maybe this is what this $500 billion AI thing can figure out.
I mean, it's tragic.
Make an earthquake-proof underground power line.
Like terrifying to see, like, and even celebrity mansions, like you see huge houses burnt to cinders, like they're just gone. Just gone.
Oh, it's terrible.
I mean, like the fact of it is that like some of these fires and like some of the fires, even like people going crazy and like just setting them like, oh, it's time to set fires. Let's set fucking fires. Like it just got out of hand so fast, and it happens all the time. It happened last year at this time. It's happening again. It's just nuts. It's a nuts thing that's going on right now. Now we do controlled burns in the East Coast. Obviously, we don't have the same conditions.
Yeah,
but
it's
to
a lot
combat
less
the
dry
same thing,
here.
The East Coast does do control burns of like areas that are very woodsy and dry to kind of like take care of some of that problems. But I'm assuming that's not possible in LA or in the California.
There's a lot of challenges because really what we have now is we have forest fires in cities.
Yeah,
right.
And also, I mean,
that's really what it is.
Like what made this so devastating too is the wind speed. Didn't I hear it was like over 100 miles an hour? So it's like, how do you stop an inferno that's flying at you faster than anybody's car can drive?
As I think we showed, you don't.
Right, yeah, like, and I mean, you're saying like, well, there should be more deployed to put this stuff out. It's like somebody made the point. It's like, are you going to be the one to fucking fly a helicopter into 100-mile-an-hour, like 500-degree winds battling against you to try to?
Where the helicopter? Like 100-mile-an-hour winds, man. Are you crazy? To
try to drop like the equivalent of like a bucket of water on like a giant like forest fire. Like it's not. You're not going to do anything.
Yeah. Pull up the videos. It was apocalypse now.
Videos are ridiculous. Yeah. There are people sitting in their houses with like buffeting flames of like all around them, like it's wind, but it's made of fire.
Yeah, there was a ring cam. I saw somebody, just some random people that saw the fire start, and they're like, "Oh my god, like we got to get out of here." And I'm like, "That's not going to be that bad. They'll have plenty of time. It's like it looks like it's miles away." Within 2 minutes, it was pretty much at the doorstep, and you saw embers flying all over the place in their camera.
You know what, Pete? That's a great point because these armchair quarterbacks. It's horrible because people put just enough truth in it. They're like, you shouldn't have cut the fire budget. You're like, yeah, that was dumb. They should not have done that.
Right.
But your point, Pete, is the one you could have had twice as many firefighters. 100-mile-an-hour winds, and it's as dry as it is.
Yeah.
It would have probably been better, but you're still getting screwed. So it's like, yes, and. Yes, they should not have done that. Yes, we should have done that. Yes, there should have been better planning. Yes, people fucked up. And they're going to investigate, and they're going to find all kinds of dumb shit that people did that were either lazy or corrupt or just dumb.
Yeah.
Right? But on top of that, we're just in a different world now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a coincidence some of those insurance companies pulled out.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Those actuarial tables, those risk assessors, they figured it out pretty damn quick.
That's so shitty, too.
It's messed
when you think about it,
but they're not going to help prevent it. They're just going to help make more money for themselves.
Yep, make their money and then leave before the payout.
Yeah.
As long as there's been cities, like big cities have burnt down.
Yep. Chicago.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking that one too.
Yep.
For a long time, big cities have burnt down.
Twice. Like
Chicago burns down a lot.
Happened twice, yeah.
Yep.
Happened twice.
I mean, is there an estimate the amount of damage in LA County right now?
It keeps going up. I could give you the most recent. It just keeps the B keeps going up.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the billions.
I'll tell you.
So many bees.
Oh God, I'll just do Los Angeles because it's going to go up. Right now, as of 15 hours ago, between 35 and 45 billion.
Oh my God. Just some damages. Like, that's insane.
According to Forline.
All right. And there we go.
Oof.
And I'm depressed.
Can't go up from there.
No.
There's really nothing else to do.
No.
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Crazy.
I thought of one more song.
Okay.
Do it, Mark.
TV's theme song.
You only need one more, Mark.
This is actually something that I've been I saw on Facebook. There's this new podcast. It was like a retro. I think it's called "I Don't Want to Grow Up" podcast or something like that. It's something like that. They had two cast members from this old show. I want to see if you guys remember what this show was or anything about it. Ready? All right. Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up if I'm dreaming. California dream. Just let me lay here in the sun until next topic comes.
You know who loves California Dreamin'?
Isn't that Stet? Yes.
Stephen Mel. They used to watch that
I
show.
found it on YouTube.
Wow.
All of the episodes are on YouTube.
Surf dudes with attitude.
Yes.
Yep. I was going to say, Steph has definitely watched that at some point, or like rewatched that in the last 10 years.
Steph, all of those episodes are on YouTube. I'm in, I just started season 2.
Wow.
Skies above, earth below. Sorry. It's a good song.
So most of us on the show follow the baseball hut stove, but it seems to be tilting towards one particular team this offseason. Even after winning the World Series, the rich have gotten richer by signing free agents Blake Snell, Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, Rogi Sasaki, among others, with a payroll for this upcoming season set to exceed $375 million or more, which is $70 million higher than even John's beloved Yankees. It seems that the team from Chavez Ravine are kicking the can down the road until they have to start writing the really big checks. So everyone, does MLB need to change rules to avoid the Dodgers spending spree or simply watch the financial repercussions?
Nah, fuck those guys. At this point, baseball's not worth watching.
What if they lose?
I felt that way for about 10 years.
What if the Dodgers lose, though?
They're not gonna lose.
You don't know that.
Okay. I do know that because they bullied their way through the regular season. They bullied their way through the playoffs. They beat every team by a
One
fucking...
year. That was 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year where they spent $1 jillion.
They've had Mookie for a while.
They haven't had...
one player that they really... Actually, I guess 2 players was Ohtani and Yamamoto. Those are the 2 big changes from the year before.
Oh, so they're 2 top starting pitchers? Their top starting pitcher and Ohtani, they're one of their top hitters. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I mean, seriously. Freddie Freeman, man. Freddie Freeman. Fuck Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman is actually kind of a steal considering what he did in the playoffs.
I mean, Task Hernandez. The fact that they got Snell and Sasaki, and they got Sasaki on a fucking technicality because he's under whatever age for an international player, so he has to start in the minor leagues. I mean, fuck those guys.
I mean, you're a Yankees fan, right?
Yeah, no. Yes.
So the irony of what you're saying is not lost upon you. Okay.
Yeah.
There is a difference.
Listeners, they've had the highest payroll in baseball. What was it from like 1998 to 2015-ish or so?
Well, now that it's not, that's hold on.
No.
Yeah, and now John is like, oh, the poor Yankees.
Listen, there's a difference between paying players a lot and taking advantage of the rules. It's the letter of the law versus the breath of the law. I don't mind a high payroll. Have a high payroll if you can. If you're a major market team, have a high payroll. I don't give a shit. But the fact of it is they're paying Yamamoto, they're paying Ohtani $2 million a year until they're going to pay him $200 after he's done playing baseball professionally. They're not even paying Sasaki because they got him on a technicality.
Super cheap.
They're deferring Snell. And the fucking Mets and all this, they're paying Soto $1 trillion right up off the bat, not deferring any of it. So, I mean, there is a difference. I mean, there's a market cap difference when you look at it between Ohtani, arguably one of the best players in baseball, $2 million, versus Soto, arguably one of the best players in baseball, $55 million. It's a difference. They're cheating.
But you said it right there. They're deferring a lot of money. They're deferring Blake Snell. They're deferring Ohtani. I forget there's one other person.
Why?
I think Freddie Freeman they're deferring to, right?
Why is that allowed?
Because
there's no hard cap in baseball.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. The Dodgers salary cap or payroll is essentially probably going to be twice as much as it is currently, and those players aren't even going to be on the team right now.
I think that it cheapens the game.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are going to win the World Series next year.
So
I have no
does
doubt in my
Major
mind.
League Baseball
I would
needs
bet
to
$1
intervene?
million. I would bet $1 million on the Dodgers winning.
I think you're right. I think the difference is your team was buying World Series for a while too. I just don't know what
we were not paying players in 2037 to play today. We were not doing a Popeye hamburger deal. We were following the rules that any other team could have done.
I just hope there's Astros fans out there that are listening to this that are getting a good kick out of a Yankees fan complaining about people spending. There's a good irony in it for me. Good irony. That'd be like if anyone's a fan of Khaleesi from the original Game of Thrones, be like, there's just too many dragons in the world, right? Am I right? Dragons are dangerous. They're just dangerous.
Dragons are dangerous.
They're dangerous. Like, well, they are. But you got 3 of those bastards, right? You mess some stuff up.
All right. John, cool. I have this question. Would this be going on if George was still alive?
No.
You don't think so?
You think George is dead? I think his head's alive somewhere.
No, baby.
Like Futurama style.
Baby Stein somewhere, right?
Baby Steinbrenner is definitely cheaper than George.
But I mean, on the other hand,
not much.
So your problem with this is more like the dead cap after these guys are done.
Okay, no, I looked it up because here's the thing. Player per player, the Dodgers had the best team in baseball in 2024. Their active payroll in 2024 wasn't number 1, it wasn't number 2, it wasn't even number 3 or 4. They had the number 5 payroll in baseball.
But that's even though Ohtani only cost $2 million.
That's the fucking problem.
But here's the thing, though. Think about the NFL. There's no hard cap in baseball, so let's just put that on the table. So they're not doing anything wrong. But even when there is a hard cap, think of what the Saints have done for years, kicking that can down the road, being like, I don't know how they $100 million is too many. It's just there's nothing. At the end of the day, they're going to pay these guys crazy amount of money. When they disperse that money is immaterial. I think the greater point, John, is if you believe in parity, then you would say every team's got to spend the same amount, and the best team wins. That's not been baseball, and that isn't baseball.
That's never been baseball.
It's a good point.
Philosophy.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I'm saying. Because I'm with you. I want
John reaped the benefits for how many years, and now someone has out Yankeed him.
Yeah.
So he's feeling.
Let's look at let's look at the top. Let's just look at the top 10 teams. The Mets, the Yankees. This is order: the Mets, the Yankees, the Astros, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Cubs, the Rangers, and the Blue Jays, and the Giants. So most of those teams are the playoff teams last year. Most of them. Some of them aren't, so they fucked up. Like the Cubs fucked up. The Giants fucked up. Well, the Giants were. The Astros were really fucked up. The Astros were number 3, and they didn't even make the playoffs. But
yikes.
I think some of it is mixed in with I feel like the MLB is being odd because MLB wants 85 game winners to be able to make the playoffs, right? They want that. And that's the whole mechanic for the modern. And
I don't think they want that. They just want more money, and more money comes from more games being played.
Well, you used to not be able to make the playoffs if you didn't win 90 games, and now you can. And now you can.
Absolutely.
And so, if you're preaching an MLB with fairness, right, with parity, and you want that, then you're also preaching an MLB where if you can figure out how to play players in the history of your franchise, but not maybe in the year that they're playing, then you can also play. So like it just doesn't.
I prefer the NFL model. You can punt the ball, but it's always coming back. You can keep kicking, but those signing bonuses that you keep, you take their normal yearly, because in the NFL, folks aren't aware, right, with the hard cap, when you take a player's annual salary and you lump sum it as a signing bonus, you get to spread and push out the cap hits. That's what a lot of NFL teams do.
Well,
and so I'm fine with that, because here's what happens. You always have to pay the piper. The bill comes due at some point. And so to me, that's fine. But to your point, the MLB has never been fair. There is no hard cap. What I really want is I want every baseball team to play every other baseball team twice, and for that to be the regular season. And they're never going to do it until we stop putting eyes on their product and we crush their sport. And they say, please, oh, please watch our sport. And we say, we will, when you play each other team twice and don't make us watch over 100 games that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
And beers
That's the
cost
problem
less
with
than
baseball.
$20.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Talk to kids. Kids are watching more hockey than baseball. I never thought I would say that out loud. It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
I don't believe that. I believe they're watching more soccer than baseball.
That's also true.
Yeah.
That's also true. They may be watching more curling pretty soon.
Mark, don't muddy the end of the topic. Hey, Mark. Do you know what time it is?
It's the final topic.
Yerk.
So, we hinted this, but it won't make sense next episode, so we're going to talk about it. The Houston Texans certainly think the refs were up to their old tricks in their game against the Chiefs in the divisional playoffs this past weekend. But of course, Patrick Mahomes this week stated, I don't feel that way. And goes on to state, at the end of the day, the referees are doing their best to call the game as fair and as proper as they possibly can. So this is, of course, an easy thing to say when two critical roughing the passer calls went their way and led to scores on drives that might have otherwise not panned out. So once and for all, do we think the NFL and the refs are setting up games for specific finishes to get a script they want to see? What are we going to see in the NFC Championship game this weekend?
I mean, there's clearly something going on. So, just with regards to this past weekend, Jared Goff got a fucking concussion. And nothing was called. Nothing was called.
Yeah, he got his clock cleaned.
Josh Allen got hit pretty late out of bounds as well. Again, nothing. Actually, I'm pretty sure. I didn't watch every single minute of the game, but I'm pretty sure all quarterbacks, aside from Patrick Mahomes, probably had a questionable call not made. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes gets a phantom roughing the passer call when someone breathed on him.
Yeah.
There was another one where he slid late, and the Houston Texans players hit themselves. They helmet to helmet to each other. Didn't even really hit Mahomes.
No. Flag
on the play. I actually have no issue with you protecting quarterbacks. And if there's any shred of doubt that something was amiss, sure, throw the flag. But do it across the board. Don't just do it for one player.
Yep. So
that's the way it used to be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
and to add to that, though, we have incredible cameras and replay assist now that doesn't slow down the game like it used to. We review all these other plays within 2 minutes.
Replay assist, right?
Yep. But
they don't use it on penalties.
Nope. It needs to be. I'm so sick of it not being there. At least start with the 15-yarders. Any personal fouls or 15-yard penalties, that has to be fucking reviewable. I'm sorry.
Does that include pass interference?
I don't know.
Yeah. When you're getting 40 yards on a play, hell yeah.
Yeah, right. And I mean, I'd even expand that to any penalty that is going to cause a first down or prevent a first down. Like right? Because that's where this always gets me is, Chiefs fans or other people will be like, well, it's fine. The other team, or like the Chiefs get as many penalties as that other team for the same amount of yards. Yeah, but look at the situations. All the Chiefs penalties are when they are defeated and it's like 3rd and 8 and they get a free first down. Or it's the other team gets a huge gain.
They have the highest third down conversion rate in the whole league.
Yeah. And
well, you know what? And you said the key point, Mark, which is I hear all this bullshit and I take a personal offense to it. Like, well, it's just like Brady. Like, stop. First of all, Brady played in 2001 through 10 when quarterbacks could actually still get hit. So go watch an old 01 game and tell me that's what it looks like today. So watch the NFL, then give me a call. The second thing is this. Yes, Brady used to get calls later in his career. Absolutely. And you know who else did? Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
You know who else did? Drew Brees. You know who else did? Anybody. Phil Rivers got the calls. Didn't matter. If you were a good to great quarterback, when you got popped.
You got the benefit of the doubt. Yep.
When you got popped, you got the benefit of the doubt. And most of the time, you still got hit.
Sure.
It's not like Mahomes did where he was fainting and throwing himself back like a soccer player. P.S. If you look like a soccer player, should be ashamed of yourself.
You're in the wrong sport.
Get a red card.
Football players look like football players. You know, I want them to bring out for Patrick Mahomes that spray that they do to fix the knees of soccer players. I'm pretty sure it's just air spray because he does shit no one else does. Not only does he only get calls individually, let's be honest, Chiefs fans. Let's have a moment. Look in the mirror. It's just you. We're in a safe place. When he does that shit where he's going out of bounds and he stops and tries to juke you to get extra yards, or he half slides, the moment you pull shit like that, defenders should be able to light you up.
Yeah. That's what
Josh Allen either puts his shoulder down or goes out of bounds.
Yeah, he runs through the guys.
That slide,
that's
right. Those two guys hit each other. It was so fucking late. It was so late.
Yeah,
and
felonious.
Right. I think, and I mean, okay, if Mahomes is going to do that and manipulate the rules to that extent, right? Like faking going out of bounds, faking slide, like, okay. Yes, that should be
Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson did the same exact thing, and there was no penalty.
There should be penalties and things. Like the game shouldn't allow that, is what I'm saying.
You start juking, you're a runner, you get to get hit like Saquon Barkley gets hit.
Yeah.
That's what's up. You want to be a running back? Okay, cool.
I still love the late slide that Mahomes did and the Texans got flagged. Again, those guys hit each other.
I know. Yeah, right. At least stop with the preferential treatment.
Makes him an asshole.
Right.
Because just don't say anything. Just smile and be like, yeah, I got it. That's cool.
Yeah.
The fact that he doubled down and said, well, I don't know, it seems right.
Of course he's going to say that.
The audacity.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole, man.
But like, why would he say, well, obviously they were treating me better than everybody else. Like,
we can't, right?
Right. He can't say that.
He can't say that.
No.
All right. But all right. So all four of us, though, picked the Bills to win on Sunday.
Is that because we honestly think so, though, or just
do we
that
feel the refs
want
are going to
that?
have? Yeah. Do we feel the refs are going to make it a close game
in Arrowhead?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They tried to when the Bills played them in the regular season. There were 3 or 4 blatant, like, no calls that were called, or vice versa, on the Chiefs' final 2 drives against the Bills when the Bills had them handily beaten, and they were trying to let the Chiefs come back, and then they realized, oh shit, they're down 2 scores at a time, and it didn't work.
It's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, I think so.
Josh Allen does magic.
I think it's going to be the same thing as I thought with the Ravens and Bills. Whoever has the ball last is going to win the game.
If you polled America,
the Ravens had the ball last.
From Kansas City has to be.
I mean,
they ran out
only because they didn't score that touchdown when they they scored a touchdown. Is only because they didn't get that 2-point conversion when they definitely.
If they got okay, hold on. Sorry, Matt. If they got the 2-point conversion, there's a minute 30 left. And the Bills have 2 timeouts.
It's a lot of time.
And all they got to do is kick a field goal.
I think they had 2 timeouts at the time,
too.
Yep,
2 timeouts, a minute 30, and Josh Allen, and you just need a field goal. You're winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a little more exciting than the tragic ending that it was for the Ravens. But
I mean, so your history with getting tied up late is that you lose in overtime, though. So I don't know about that.
Well, not exactly. It wouldn't have gone into overtime.
This year's different.
I got you, Pete. Let's go to the Texans. If those calls aren't made, to go back to the original point, if they don't get those soft ass calls, the Texans, who I think we all agree, not a great team.
No.
What are they doing on first, second down? They're running the ball. We all know. We all understand what's happening.
Or they're going to throw to Nico Collins.
I mean, that's because all of their receivers are dead except for their number 1.
Yeah, all the other guys are done.
All the other guys are done.
ACL'd out.
Yep.
Tank Dell's knee got exploded, and his leg, and his fibula.
Oh.
He walked in with poor Diggs on stilts. They're both broken. Like, I mean,
I get to see the 2 of them walking down the tunnel sadly, like leaning on each other.
They did. That happened. They walked down sadly, all broken together.
They lost all the CLs.
Yep.
All the CLs.
All the CLs. So I think the fact that Texans were competitive in that game says everything you know. I think the Bills can go in there and win. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I hope so.
We're hoping.
And I think so.
The Chiefs are not that good this year.
Break those tables.
Defense is still pretty good.
Their defense is great. Yeah.
When you look at like the score rankings in like fantasy, you do the same thing in the NFL. I think if the Chiefs don't win any of those 1-score games, they're like 4-13 this season.
Yeah. It's a very different story. Yeah.
a very different season. They
Pete, should we tell
barely won a
everybody-
lot.
Should we tell everybody what happens if the Bills win? This special podcast is sponsoring VR porn for the entire team. Thank you to our sponsor, Oculus.
Wow.
You can jerk it at home. It's safe sex, kids. It's safe sex.
Oh, that's a great
And
show.
we're done.
So that has been our topics. Please
Slam
join us
dunk.
next week.
Oh, man.
As my boss, Yvonne Souza, will attempt to join us for the third time.
Come on, Yvonne. Let's do
In the
it.
meantime,
Yes.
you can catch up on old episodes on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by clicking on that little bell. We'd like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Maddie.
You're the
Thanks,
best.
Matt.
Good to see you, boys.
Always a pleasure.
You can
Good to
follow
see
or
you
like
guys.
us on our socials at If These Balls Pod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and now Blue Sky. Our
Yeah.
website is www.iftheseballscouldtalkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and from my partner John Campania and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Commanders.